Good evening, good evening. How you guys doing tonight? It's Mike Melton back in the Spotlight Podcast Live, episode 23, featuring a very, very special guest tonight. My boy Ray Glenn, man. Know him ever since I was a youngin', man. And we're gonna take a good trip down memory lane, celebrate his basketball career and some of the other things he did to help other people in this game, man. Ray, thanks for coming on tonight, bro.
Man, first of all, if you ask me for anything, bro, our relationship go back beyond anything. We talk about when you throwing curveballs on North Trent Little League. You think I forgot about that? You know what I'm saying? You knew I couldn't play baseball. You knew I couldn't play baseball. That was my bad sport. So we gonna go back, but also too, just want to for a lot of people who kind of know us and know the community, we're gonna throw a little shout out and remembrance to a young man we just lost. That's we were tied to for many years, Mr. Brian Coleman, who just passed. We want to, if anybody from his family, his friends, people he's touched, and he's touched a lot of people watching, our hearts and our condolences are right there with you. I know you was able to join them at his remembrance yesterday.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Everybody just want to say, God bless. And we know as I look forward, we're going to just think about not what we lost, but the celebration of what he gave. So we just think
Indeed,
of that.
Man, B.
Want to throw that out there.
Yeah, me and B got tight, man, over the last 12 years, especially like the last 5. Like, that was my guy, man. You know what I mean? I talked about him with Kenny like almost a week ago. You know what I mean? And we talked about it, man. So rest in peace. His family did a fabulous job, especially the poster things they had up that show his different pictures, man, was raw. It was beautiful, man. He would have been proud, man. Rest in peace, B. I love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And tonight, my boy, man. So let's just get started because we got a lot to talk about. Let's get started, man. Talk about growing up in Trenton, hooping in Trenton as a youngster, brother.
And listen, man, I haven't lived technically in Trenton since I graduated college, which is in 1996. But the reason I say that is, it's been so long, but everything I've gotten in life came from growing up in Trenton.
Oh, praises.
Everything that I became from the toughness of growing up in Trenton. So, when you talk about growing up in Trenton, I remember, I'm a dual person. I'm both a Wilbur section and a West Trenton guy. Grew up early in the section, and I say this all the time. I don't think you could make the block. I grew up on Ward Avenue, and I grew up across the street from Terrence Stokes. Butchie Stokes, TC Brown. Like we grew up and just played and ran and played football. Corey Stokes, so athletically, we were already athletically inclined because we were keeping up. You try to run after Terrence Stokes for playing football, you might can't catch him, but you don't realize how fast you getting just doing it.
All facts.
So just those little things of coming up, or then going down with TC Brown. His dad ran the Trenton Powell, and going down learning how to box and just being comfortable with yourself. And then we would go over, and it seemed like it was a million miles away. It was less than a 2-minute walk, walking over to Garfield Avenue and playing against the Barber brothers and all them and everybody over there. So that was cool. And then I had a culture shock when I was 12, and we moved to West Side on West State Street. And I ain't know nobody. I ain't know nobody. I remember my uncle put a little hoop up in our court. We had a little garage. I shot there, thought I was getting good. Said, man, I'm gonna walk these 3 blocks down and go to Calwood Park. And then I'm there. And when I went there, man, it was the greatest thing that ever happened. Because not only kids my age, but on West State Street at one point, there was my big brother Maurice Coleman, who played at Trenton High, played at Columbia University. Tom Savage, who went to Ewing High but moved on West State Street. Gerald Posey, who God rest his soul, who was right down the street, right off Sanhegan. And I'm learning, and then the great, my brother, God rest his soul, Khalid Lewis, who did it. Oh, and one more. I'm seeing this how deep it was getting. And right across the street, I'm talking about, if I put a blindfold on, you walk across the street. I lived across the street from Noel Powell, the father of.
Oh, you had some. You had it all right there. You had some ballers right there.
I had some older ballers who taught, who really I was able to learn from. And then, you know, you had guys like Tariq Bethea who played the Trenton High, and you had everybody. So we was all what we call DDH, not to mention Donnie Shelton.
My boy D.
I mentioned my big brother Nine or whatever.
That's my guy, man.
Yeah, Nine is my dude. So, you know, having, you know, like Nine lived right around the corner. I had to walk past his house to go to Calvert Park. We where our little sister worked, who had the ball. Yo, you got the ball, they'll throw it to me. I'm going to court. I drop it off at the crib when you come back. It was a really, you know, I got lucky. You know, that environment that was all organic, you can't even create no more. Where, I mean, you talk about like a guy like a Terrence Stokes who was, you know, became a Hall of Famer at the University of Penn, maybe their best running back in history for a long period of time, if not still to this day. You know, Tom Savage, who was considered the best player in the state of New Jersey in '86, and, you know, was a star at Rutgers. Gerald Posey went to Marquette. Noel Powell went to Coppin State. You know, Khalid, who played at Fairleigh Dickinson University. These were all guys, we just played oak together.
Indeed.
You know, so you learn and you gather, and all of them was big bros to me. So I was very appreciative of all of that, learned from them. And they all said they knew I had it in me because I was a dog. You know, I was just I was dead. I wanted that, and, you know, and that's what it was. And so I learned a lot, you know, got my ass kicked a lot, so to speak, pardon the language, and but just got better with it.
At what age did you know I might have something here?
I'm gonna give you the exact time I knew. We made New Jersey All Stars. AAU, Mr. Frank Berg, who Coach Berg, and I'm still friends with him to this day. And we went down. He took us to. We won the New Jersey championships at 11 or 12. I forget which one. And we went to nationals. First game we played Corliss Williamson. Now we 11, so they got me playing like the power forward. I'm 5'1". He like 6'1" already, and, you know, so he was like playing against Shaq, and he you know, they dominated, but we ended up coming in 6th in that tournament or whatever, and the whole tournament, national tournament, 250 teams. We ended up coming in 6th. We lost the first game, won the rest. We did lose our last game. We lost some little left-hand kid who was cooking on us. We, you know, we like, who is this kid from Portland? Turned out to be Damon Stoudemire. And true story. I mean, you know, it was like a little bit where I played well, but I knew just from playing against D. Stoudemire, like at a young, got to get in that lab. You know, it's more to it because I didn't know nobody could play for Portland, Oregon. Who the hell heard of that? You know,
indeed.
New York, Jersey, or Philly, or DC. I ain't know. So, but I did remember playing well. I remember Deion Hames. We'll get a lot into him playing well. I remember JoJo Barber playing well.
And y'all had a crew when y'all was that age.
Yeah, and it was just a lot.
How did y'all hook up with Frank? Frank came into Trenton?
Frank came, he went to a West Ward game, and then he had a trial on a Saturday at West Ward. Wow. And I'm gonna throw a lot of old school. I would never forget that first we was in there playing. You know who played the best that day? I'm gonna tell you who played the best, but he couldn't play because his birthday, he was a little too old or whatever like that. Boogie, Jermaine McKinney.
Oh yeah, I saw a picture with y'all that I was trying to find you. I ain't see you in it. That's why I ain't grab it. But yeah. I saw a picture with all of them. It was crazy. I was looking at this joint like, wow, this is so dope right here.
And he,
you know what I mean?
I remember him playing well that day. I remember I played well. I think so. What it was a bunch of us from West Ward. It was, you know, Brother Man. You know, Dion played great as you always do.
Yeah, he just checked in. He just checked in, man. Yeah.
And
what's up, Blur? How you, bro?
You, Craig Worthy. It was a bunch.
I had a mean squad.
Yeah, but what happened was it was a bunch of us that made the squad, but then people was missing the cutoff date by like a month or two.
Yeah,
so
they had.
I think Craig missed it. Jermaine McKinney missed it, and it was, you know, until it left us with like me, Dion, James Reed, who went to walk with Georgetown, and then like JoJo. We were the only ones who just made the cutoff or whatever like that.
Indeed.
And that's how we hooked up. And then next thing I know, we were in Orlando, Florida, and we just playing these guys and stuff like that. And that was the first time leaving Trenton. And, you know, I remember a trip for us was Willenburg. We thought we went somewhere far going to Willenburg.
100%. And to be always in Orlando, that's real. Then I see that you started playing at Our Lady Devon Shepherd, you won a championship in 6th grade. Talk a little bit about that squad and if you remember some of that, like how was it?
I remember because, once again, you talk about, everything is fortuitous in life. You just get lucky in life. And, I went to Our Lady Devon Shepherd. So to go back a little bit, at one point I went to St. Joe's, which was out East Trenton. They closed and just kept the church open. They closed the school. So everybody who was at St. Joe's went to different schools, Sacred Heart, Shepherd, this, that, third. At one point, St. Joe's had me, Mark Bass, Reggie Coleman, Eric. It was like everybody you could think of went to St. Joe's, but then they just closed the school. So we all went to different schools. So in 6th grade, we played with Adrian Ellison, Eric Evans, they both played at McCorson, later Trenton Catholic. My boy Tim, who was always like he was the hood cat, but he played ball with us and was good. And we won our 6th grade year, won that championship. I was the 6th man on the squad, young. And then, I would come in for instant office. But more importantly, let's talk, the coaches, we talk about Chubby Blackwell.
My guy, man.
Chubby Blackwell was
my guy. R.I.P. He coached me too, man. Had the store. That was my boy, man. I miss Chubb, man.
But we had one more legend.
Oh.
We had Dent. We had Coach
Dent. Oh, so man.
Coaches. And then so we won that championship. And when I got to Our Lady Devon Shepherd, I was a young kid, and the star of the team, I think I was like in 4th grade. The star of the team, I wasn't on their squad, of course. I was on like JV or something. But on varsity was Kelly Williams, so you learn from everybody, you get better, and you say, I want to do that. At the end of the 6th grade year, the team obviously was going to be, not obviously, but the team was going to be built around me, and I was going to be the guy. But then I get a knock, I hear Deion Haynes is going to Cathedral. So me and D had always had a best friendship, but hard competitive rivalry.
Talk about that from the beginning. How did this get down? Like, how did y'all meet when y'all first faced each other? Like, talk about it, man.
So I'm in 5th grade playing West Ward. I'm Wilbur section DDH. Didn't really know nobody in Miller Homes or whatever like that. Didn't, never went there. And so we playing. Deion played for Jay and Sons for Smitty, Joe Smith. And they had the greatest young squad I've ever seen in my life. They talk about they won the championship. They should have won the championship. It was Deion, brother man John Lindsay, Jermaine McKinney. This all young. You like, yo, hold on, B. That's the All-Star team. Y'all got them on one.
I saw that. That must have been a picture I saw. They was loaded.
They was loaded. Beat the brakes off of us. So they were all 6th graders. Me and D were 5th graders. So when West Ward had their All-Star team, we were the only 5th graders on the squad. And at that time, I just, you just don't know. So you're ignorant, but you're young. I'm thinking, ain't nobody in my grade can play with me or whatever like that. They played somebody, and this little mofo hit two little. They had the little 3-point line to West Ward. Remember, they used to have the 3-point line and tape. They used to put the tape down.
I remember.
He hit 2 threes, won the game. I'm like, who the hell shooting threes? Like, it was crazy. And so he was on my radar, but to be honest, my 5th grade year, it wasn't really a matchup because they was just too good for us, and we just couldn't see them. And so we was getting smacked by them or whatever like that. So our real friendship started probably going into that, we just talked about going into that AAU when we went down to Florida. We just up. So we started playing well. We became real tight. 6th grade year, we owned, and then God rest his soul, another one of our friends, Jabri Parker. We were probably the 3 best players, not probably, we were the 3 best players at West Ward that year. Deion beat me in the chip. And it was a weird thing. So on that Sunday we played for North Trenton News, and we played in this tournament. I won MVP over D. I think the little asshole was mad and shit. So we played on that Tuesday. They got us in the chip by 4. He got MVP back.
I love that.
And that was our whole career. And from 5th grade to the time we graduated high school, we would rotate MVPs. We did a trophy count one time, and no joke. And I mean, not no cap. This is true. we counted up just MVPs, and we was doing like who not who had more MVPs, but like which one you deserve, which one I deserve. And we went down, and he had something like 38 MVPs.
That's crazy.
I had 36.
That's crazy.
But we talked about, I won MVP in 1991 in the Petty tournament. He won in 1990. I won MVP at this tournament. He won at that tournament. We never won MVP back to back. It was and it was a weird thing. It was, I don't know how it happened. I remember the McCorston camp. I went to the first session. This with John Costado. We'll get into that later. I won MVP that camp, and then 2 weeks later, the second week, we were both there both weeks. He won at that camp. So it was just, and so it started a healthy rivalry. But then so going back to the RLA Devon Shepard, when we won that year, and Deion said he was going there, and then Jabri Parker, the same dude we just talked about, he said he was going to Cathedral. I ain't gonna beat them by myself. So we had to do the early LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh thing, and we had to link up. It wasn't gonna link. So I transferred to St. Mary's Cathedral, and then that started. So we played for the legendary coach Jimmy Dill, who's also the lieutenant of the Trenton Police Force for 20 years.
You see it right there. I pulled that up. I got sources. I got sources. Pulled that out. Shout out to my man Rock Green, man. That's hit me with the archives, man.
First thing that's a perfect example of just where I was lucky. Why Trenton is so important to me, because Rock was a guy I was like in awe of when I was a kid, when I was a shorty. I never forget when I saw Rock, and I was in 5th grade, play one of the greatest point guards from New York City, Boo Harvey, and gave him 36. Boo had like 40, but Rock gave him 36 and made them walk off the court. And all I'm saying that day, I want that. I want to be him. I want to be that. I want to be that dude, because he was the man in Trenton. Not to mention, I had knew him from going down to Trenton Powell, and he could box. But Rock is the ultimate gentleman. So you would never know something.
Indeed. I know he can play chess too. He's nice in chess. Chess. Tell him, hey, Rock, I'm getting my game up too. I'm gonna see you, bro. You know what I mean? Yo.
And show you how small the world is. Unfortunately, our the legendary Lenny Carmichael passed away a couple of weeks ago. He's my uncle. He's also related to Rock.
I know. He told me. Yeah, he hit me. So he hit me and wanted to get in touch with Sleep.
Yeah,
he hit me and wanted to get in touch with Sleep. Now y'all at Cathedral, and y'all had this historic 34-0 season. Take us to that moment, and y'all was just smacking squads. Here go the trophy right here. When both of y'all won the championship joints, you know what I'm saying? Take us to that moment, bro.
Man, so once again, it was the greatest move that ever happened for me transferring to Cathedral. So every day, me and Deion played against each other. Every day. It was us going against each other. And with us doing that, it just got, I just think that natural, Deion's quiet, but Deion is a natural dog. That he's Killer Holmes through and through. There's nobody who represents Killer Holmes more than Deion Hames. He's the personification of that, and with the mentality and everything else like that. So there was no days off. I mean, you coming in there, and Deion wasn't one of those cats that's like, oh man, I hurt my shoulder today, this, that, and the third. He gonna cook you. So you just fought through. He ain't really about that. Whatever like that. And I think if you talk to him, my mentality ain't really the kind of be like, I feel sorry for him. I'm like, it is what it is today. You won't get that. So every day we just work. We work. And then when we was in 8th grade, bro, I never forget, we played McCorston's freshman team at McCorston. We smacked them by 25.
Y'all was mopping people. I was hearing about this squad. I'm like, yo, they talking about these dudes in Cathedral running through everybody.
We played. Then they started having us play the public school, junior 5, junior 4. We smacking people. We was just smacking people. And the greatest thing that ever happened when I knew you kind of asked me a question earlier, when I knew we really had something, true story, I swear on everything I could think of. We played a game against Soulberry's JV team as 8th graders. The game before they played St. Anthony. St. Anthony's in 88. This is 1 year before they would finish number 1 in 89, but they were number 2 in the country that year. I think they were 30-0. The next year they were 32-0, whatever it was. we played before the St. Anthony's came in. We were so good and so dominant that Coach Bob Hurley asked our coach, would we be interested in coming to St. Anthony's? And I never forget, like, for me, that was it. That was when I was like, I'm halfway decent. That's Bob Hurley. We watching Jimmy Walker, Terry DeHare, all these dudes warm up. I'm like, yo, you know, and I knew we probably wasn't gonna go there, but it was you talk about putting that jetpack on somebody's back. I'm like, yo, we let's make it happen. Irony of all ironies, how life plays itself out. I now live in Jersey City. I live around the corner from Coach Hurley.
Indeed. And you know what's crazy? The blur messed up my champion, me and Doc championship run in North Trenton. We only lost one championship in baseball, and that's when he played on CA Ross. And we won it every other year. And Robert Tyson hit a home run against Doc in the championship game. And we lost, bro. I was hurt, bro. I was crying in there. We was 11. And then we came back next year and we smacked E-Lamp in them. But you know but blurred them got us though. But I fan blurred though. It was the 11s against the 12s All-Stars. He was nice in baseball though, but I gave him the gas. I gave him the gas though.
He was nice. He was nice. He was.
I gave him the gas when I faced him though. I gave him the gas. That one time I pitched like 2 innings. I struck all 6 of them out. I gave him the gas. You know, I was 11. I was decent though. So now y'all now y'all run over Cathedral, everything. Now it's time to make that high school decision. Was Hunt a foregone conclusion, or did you have people like recruiting you, that kind of thing? How did that happen?
Great question. Hunt wasn't in the picture up until April. It was a done deal. What was the next step was? We going to McCorston. We was gonna go to McCorston. I'm gonna put everybody in real time. So we in 8th grade. Brian Caver is in 10th. Mark Bass is in 9th. Cave hadn't grown that much yet. People forget Cave's a late bloomer. So we were gonna go there, and I'm just saying it like 100. Like, we were more worried about Bass than Cave because Cave hadn't really came into his own yet, or whatever like that. Somewhere in 10th grade year, Cave got nice. Cave got nice. He started dunking. You know, he got the groove. He had the long arms. He got nice. And we like, okay. You start doing the math. You're like, you got to do this, do that, and you trying to figure out. And Coach Costado was like, nah, y'all gonna rock, or whatever like that. So we were still kind of on board, like, you know, this is a different era where, you know, you waited your turn. And we was like, we're gonna learn, we're gonna do this, we're gonna go in there. We knew we was gonna play, but our time was probably gonna be our junior and senior year. The school came at us at the last minute. Both of us had really good grades. Coach Dill, he had connection there. He said, why don't you go up there and take some tests? We took some tests. Did well in the test. Did well in the interview. And I'll try to keep people in perspective. There was a little bit of a bad taste in Trenton with Hun because of Steve Worthy. Hun, and there was a whole thing, and then Steve left Hun right after the basketball season, and it looked like they was just like whatever.
Yeah.
And so we was like, yo, they did white boy wrong. White boy the man. So when they did him, we was a little hesitant, but we went there, and I think everybody know this now. The goal was, let's go to Hun, let's kill here 2 years, Cave blitzing and bounce, and we'll go our junior senior year with Bass now.
So Trenton High was it never an option? It was nobody never tried to come get y'all. Y'all wasn't recruited or nothing.
Trenton High was what we wanted. We would, because we Trenton kids, but you know, Mama Kathy, Dion mom, Mama Betty wasn't having it. They was, you know, and I think for me, I had a cousin who had some issues at Trenton High, not even with sports, you know, just basic Trenton stuff, you know, getting a couple fights and stuff like that. So, and my mom's a teacher, but you know, my people might know Betty Glenn is, you know, she's been in charge. She's been president of the teachers union for like 20 years or something like that. So she was just like, yo, Trenton High is on the back burner. My pop's at Trenton High head, you know, he's like, nah, you gonna go to High. You know, and somehow it happens, you know, the wife wins out. So, but my pop was always like, "Yo, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get you a year or two here. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna work on your mama. You gonna go Trent High, of course. Don't even worry about it." So that was the thing. Got the Hun, and then we got there, and I'll be honest. Our first, me and Dion, we lived in this. We coming from a different environment. We move into Russell Hall. Anybody ever go to Hun? You go to Russell. Russell, we get a big room with a fireplace. And it's me, Dion, and our roommate is this kid named Orrin Wilf. Just so people know and why it was important and why things are. The Wilf family owns the Minnesota Vikings. And they're the largest minority owners of the Yankees.
Mean right there.
We talking bread. I'm friends with him. I just had lunch with him maybe a month ago. We talking bread. We go up there and we did not like Hunt. We did not like him. People think we did not like Hunt. We was, we hearing back. I'm hearing, Mike Melton and them tell me about all these fly girls that we ain't never seen before. We over here, we stuck in here, and they doing this, and people having fun, and this person having a party. And we wasn't going through none of that, so we was feeling outcast. And then, then it just took us a minute to really, that whole first year, every day, I'm talking to everybody I know from a course in Trenton High, feeling like I'm being left out.
Wow.
So it was tough that first year. I remember the only time I've ever not had great grades. I always had great grades. I had mediocre grades. Was the first market period because I just didn't want to be there. I had in my mind maybe if I don't do well,
I could get out of there.
Hey, it's tough. But then they got me on my competitiveness. They like, you don't want to be thought you just a regular dumb Trenton kid. And that kind of, the next thing I know, I never had below a 92 after that.
Wow.
But that's the only way they could get me to do it because I was trying all my way. I mean, Miss Kathy, Dion's mom, let me take it back. Lamont, Dion's uncle, was coming to get us all the time, sneaking us off campus to go back to train. Just so we could do everything. So I ain't gonna never forget that. But it took us a minute. I'd say it took us a full year and a half before, not basketball wise, but socially to be acclimated.
Now on the court, we're gonna get into y'all sophomore year. Y'all started making some noise. Take us through that year. You know what I'm saying? What was going on during your sophomore year? Like once y'all, like, who was on the team? Did you feel like you was ready to go do your thing and take it to another level? So
I want to answer that in full. So freshman year, Dion was a phenom from the door. So Dion, they had this kid Pat who was supposed to be the star. He was gonna be a senior. He got hurt playing soccer. Never got Wally picked him. By the time he got back on the thing, his spot was gone.
As a frosh, yeah.
Dion as a freshman is averaging like 13.5 assists. I'm averaging like 8 off the bench. And of course, back then no freshman wasn't even playing like that. So people was like, "Oh, you was happy." But that competitiveness with Dion, he's being written up. New best freshman guard in the state. And I'm like, yo, I want people to see what I could do. And I was playing behind somebody who was a senior who just, should never be ahead of me. But but at the same time, I'm also, as I'm an older man now, I realized probably I also just wasn't mature enough to do something. But little things like that, it got me in the lab. We was tough. What changed us in going into our sophomore year, we went to Rutgers team camp. Our freshman year, I think we went 15-10. They was 4-22 the year before. So we went 15-10. But we getting better, but we not there yet. We go to Rutgers team camp. I matured. Dion got better, and we had a kid named Greg Sock. He was a Division III player, but he could play. He could shoot. He just was a shooter. He's like a JJ Redick type guy. We were smacking people. At the team camp. We play Elizabeth High School at the team camp. Let me be 100. Luther Wright wasn't there, but it's still Elizabeth High School. They just beat Trenton. This is the same team that just beat Steve Worthy and them in the state championship. We played them that summer. We beat them in one of the games or whatever like that, and then we lose to them in the camp championship by 3. Now,
your confidence went to another level.
Yeah, Luther Wright's not there, but they had 3 other Division I guys. And from there once they tipped that ball up, I never forget. I think my high game my freshman year was 16. First game of the year I have 26, and it was on and popping. We go like 30-3, 30-4, and the year was just incredible. We just had a really great year.
Then y'all get to the state championship game that year against Lawrenceville. Come up a little short. Take me to that game, man, and what happened. Like, what you think went wrong with you guys that y'all could have got over the top, or were they just too much?
So just for people who don't understand playing in prep school, we played in Prep A. Prep A is where you can have postgraduates. So you had a lot of guys who were fifth-year seniors. Lawrenceville, top 6 guys were all postgraduates. So we were playing 19-year-olds, and me and Dion being really the best 2 players were 15. So two things with that game. On Saturday, we played them for the Mercer County State Championship. Saturday night, we played in Mercer County State Championship. We lose by 2 points or whatever like that. Greg Seigan, the kid I told you about.
That was the Mercer County tournament, or they had
Mercer County tournament. We beat all the CBC teams.
Okay.
Rittenheim, of course, did not play that year. I want to make that clear. So I want to make it, but we smacked them. They didn't play because they was getting ready for their thing or whatever like that. But we played them in the chip. We lost by 2 in a low scoring game, like 50-48 or whatever like that. We had to play them for the state championship the next morning at 12 o'clock at Penn.
Whoa!
We played them at night at Mercer County College. Who came up with this schedule was ridiculous. And I remember our coaches was trying to say, why don't we just make this the Mercer County and state? We were going to say winner take all, but you couldn't get this. You couldn't get the prep division.
Okay.
Okay. So we played them. We lose by 2. Greg Seigan, the kid I told you was like a little JJ Redick at the time. He caught pneumonia and didn't play the last month of the season. So we lose by 2. We played them the very next day, and that physicality caught up to us, and they just ended up beating us by like 12. Like it was just a slow walk down because
grind game.
They grind us down. We was too strong. And I remember we just didn't have enough. And I remember the last game on the state championship. I remember I had 27 and Dion had 18, but we had 45 of our 59. Or something like 40. We had 45 of our 61 or 63, and we ended up losing like 74-63, something like that. So they were just they weren't a better basketball players, but they were just more mature than us at that time.
Now let's get into that junior year. Now I know y'all ready to kick up. Y'all done made it to the state finals the year before. Y'all juniors now. I always say this when the money time go. All that little cute stuff. Like, ain't nobody really expecting nothing from you. Your freshman year, you cute. Your sophomore year, we'll let you. We see some talent. But when that junior year come, you got to start cashing in. And now we starting to look at you like a bust.
Yep.
Take us to that junior year and how was the kick up?
So right in between the junior year, sophomore to junior year, me and Dion, we go on a whirlwind tour of 5-star, BC All-Stars, AAU, and we cooking. So when we come back, we didn't establish ourselves as a name, and we started scheduling all types of teams. So I don't know if you remember this kid, Damon Santiago. He played at
I played with Damon. Yeah, he went to Pitt.
We smacked him. I'm gonna give D his props that game. Dion cooked him. Cooked him.
I mean, he went to Pitt.
Yeah, he cooked him. Then we played Episcopal High School, which would eventually be the home of Wayne Ellington, Gerald Henderson. But at the time, they had Jerome Pooh Allen.
I remember Pooh Allen. Yeah.
We played them. We lost them in Philly by 3. But I remember once again, Pooh was a top 50 player in the country, even though he went to Penn. He was top 50. And I remember I had 26. But they won. And he had a good game too. But like we're starting to feel like we're moving in that direction. We played a kid named Malik Russell who was from Brooklyn, and he went to Notre Dame or whatever like that before transferring to South Carolina. Smacked them. Or whatever like that. And then we played a friend of mine. He ended up going to Harvard. His name is Jared Leak. He was considered like the Gaucho starting point guard. He played for Dalton Prep and whatever like that. And we beat them in the Petty tournament. We beat them that year twice or whatever like that. And we, just great games. I mean, we just had the junior year was when we really started establishing ourselves. And that was it. And we had beat St. Benedict's 2 times that year, and then we played them in that state championship game.
Y'all in the state finals against the Gray Bees, baby.
Yeah, baby.
What happened, man? Take me there, man. Like, what happened? They say you can't beat somebody 3 times in one season. That's what you think happened.
That's what happened. Let me make it very clear. The first 2 times we beat them, we won by 5, and we won by like 6. Every game was competitive, so it was never no smacking, never no nothing. We knew it was gonna be a war. So St. Benedict's had 6 guys who would eventually play Division I. Now I ain't gonna say nobody went to Kentucky or nothing like that, but University of Buffalo, FDU, Loyola, Baltimore, Maryland. They had a nice squad or whatever like that, and straight Newark kids. This is when St. Benedict's was straight Essex County, East Orange, Irvington, and Newark. That was their crew. So we were dealing with real dogs, and we played them, and that was it was a great game. We went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I still remember. I think Dion had 28. I had 26 in that game. We going back and forth, back and forth. The issue we did have my junior year, we didn't have size. We didn't have size. St. Benedict's had this kid, Big James. I can't think of James's last name off the top of my head, but he was 6'9". They had another boy, my man Kenny Rankin. He went to the University of Buffalo. Was all confident. He's about 6'7", and could play. Played a little bit perimeter and stuff like that. And then they had Elijah Allen, who ended up going to FDU. For anybody want to look up, in 1998, he had 43 in the NCAA tournament against UConn.
I remember that.
So we played them. We going back and forth, and that last play, we playing. They had the ball. So I remember I tied the score or whatever like that. They had the ball. They took a shot. They missed the shot, and then the size just caught up. They played volleyball. It seemed like for 30 minutes, but it was probably like 6 seconds. They got the rebound. Boom, shot back up, missed that. Got that back in, missed that. I remember going up to get the ball, and this one dude jumped over my back and just bigger and no foul or nothing. He just lay and he tapped it in, not at the buzzer, but with like 7 seconds left. And then if Dion's watching this, he's gonna be pissed. He gonna remember this. We was gonna run up. We was gonna run what we called a double. A double was when he passes the ball to the wing. They come set a double screen for me. I come off, and either I come off for the 3 or it's a quick kick to D from the corner because he sets the screen and then he slides. And he passes the ball to one of our teammates. Ain't no need to throw out names. They set the double. I'm coming off the double, and we just hear the whistle. Like, what happened? Teammate caught the ball, and it just went straight through his hands and went out of bounds.
Damn.
And it was one. And when everything went, by the time he tried to get the ball, fumbled. Caught everything. It was 1 second left. We lost by 2.
How y'all feel going off the court then, bro?
Man, you couldn't. It was one of those things like you ever know you're gonna do something and you can't believe it didn't happen.
Indeed.
I couldn't believe. It was like people was like, "Did you cry? Did you do?" I mean, I've had moments of emotion after games, but that one, it was like I was like in shock. It was like it was like when Kobe died. Remember people was like, Like, I mean, I don't want to make it that big, but I'm just saying.
I understand what you said. I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yo, like, what the blank just happened? Like, we couldn't do nothing. And then it was just that whole, like, we didn't get a shot. And, no shot went up. So we lose to them. And then what made it worse, we saw all them all summer at 5-star. 5-star, BC All-Stars, whatever you want to say. We saw all them the whole summer. I mean, and in fairness, they was our dudes, so we always had a good relationship with them, and we would go up to Newark and kick it with them, and then this started my friendship, which became a lifelong mentor with my man B from Newark Rams.
I tried to hit him. I'm trying to get him on, man. I gotta get him on this joint, man. Holler at him and tell him I'm trying to get him on here.
I'll get him for you, and a lot of them played for him, and then you talk about how life goes. That started me a relationship with him that lasts to this day.
Indeed.
And so it was just one of those weird things, and we saw him, and then so we lost, and then but it was funny because it did fuel something so that whole summer, because we was with them and traveling with them all the time, and we was traveling with Ed Butler, as you know who Ed Butler is, and we was traveling with them, going to BC All-Stars, 5-star, all that type of stuff. We was cooking. The greatest accomplishment I could ever tell you that really happened was we was at BC All-Stars. They had guys like James Forrest, them who went to Georgia Tech, all that type of stuff.
Nice.
And a bunch of other cats. And I everything I love. They announced they had Tashaka Ship, who was from Brooklyn Lincoln, where Steph
I remember him.
A couple other, a couple Mo Brown went to St. John's, stuff like that. A lot of these guys, and they announced the All-Star team. There was 3 people. They go top 20, top 40, top 60. There was only 3 people that made the top 20 game that was from New Jersey. And I never forget, because what they do, when they name the top 20 game, they just call you by your number, because BC All-Star was a meat market. So they'd be like, if you might know, number 114, top 20, number 88, top 20. We sitting there chilling, and so who's that there with us is Brad Knight. All the kids from up North Jersey. A couple of kids from Camden. Greg Barr didn't go that time or whatever like that. I got really cool with Greg Barr. But they big man, he went Sturdivant, whatever like that. They named that top 20 game. It was like nothing but New York and down South cats. And and literally in between there, I heard them say, I don't remember the number, so this is a made up number, 117. Oh shit, that's me. I'm in that joint. So I go, but now my homie, I didn't hear, I'm trying to hear, and I'm excited, and they call it 117, 85, 92. No, I'm hearing, I'm like, man, there's no way he ain't make it. No way he ain't make it. Man, motherfucker come behind me, slap me on the back of my head. Yeah, they go like this. Yeah. We go like that. And so, real true story. Deion's coach that week that he had was Don Marbury, Stephon Marbury's dad. And so at that camp also too, they were young boys. We got cool with Skip to my Lou and Steph. We've been friends with Steph right before he got into high school. And I never forget Mr. Marbury going to Steph, he goes to him and tells him, yo, Steph, I want you to watch how Deion played the point. This is the way I want you to be. Steph's short at this time, like that. I never forget him telling that or whatever like that. And then they was all big. Remember Booger Smith, the playground?
Yeah, indeed.
I cooked him for 33 and caught an alley-oop dunk, not on him, but against their team that turned the camp out. That's what got me in the game. And so, and then Deion, he won't say it, but I'll say it. Deion had 38 against Brett. And what happened was, you talk about the AAU season, and we'll get in our senior year. We had played whatever team Brad was on. We played them a tough game. They won by 3. It was a super low scoring game. It was like 49-46. We had been cooking the whole time. So I think Deion had like 12, but let me make this very clear. Like he had 12. I think I led the whole game in scoring at 13. But somebody said something like, Brad locked in. Deion got hot about that. And so Deion cooked him. And Mr. Barberry told us to come up to Coney Island. He wanted us to rock with them. never forgot. So I still, to this day, I remember Mr. Marbury passed away right before a game when Steph was still in the Knicks. It hit us because we felt something, because he had a little love for us or whatever like that. And coming from Trenton, we just didn't have that. We just didn't know outside of our roots. So that was big. And we made that top 20 game, and that was when we looked at each other. I'll never forget. I said this. We going to the league. We going to the league, my. You know what?
Wow.
We going to the league, and so that's what it meant for us right then and there, or whatever like that.
So then y'all get into the senior year. Now I can't remember if it was in the newspaper before the season started, or it was in the preview, or it was before the championship game. But I really remember. It was an article, something talking about y'all theme was the big payback or something like that.
That's exactly what it was.
Wow! I knew I was right, because that's when that PMD song was out.
And we rocked it. And if anybody know me, I'm a hip hop head. You know me. You know me better than most. And EPMD was my favorite group until that moment. They still probably my top 5 group, but whatever.
Yeah.
Moment. I think until Wu-Tang came, they was my favorite. Group. Still my best duo group. And we went big payback. That was it. And we was like, we coming back for everybody. We wanted to smoke with everybody. We wanted to get that game against McCorston with Cam Teller and them. We wanted that game against Trenton High. We wanted everybody. We was like, yo, we got to let people know. And so we came out right away. By the way, we our junior year too, when we started knowing, we smacked Alvin Williams and them at Germantown Academy. I never forget, we played them and we smacked them. That's the game Deion scored his 1,000-point. And then I scored my 1,000-point 2 games after or whatever like that. So I remember how that was early in our junior year, and we was rolling on cats or whatever like that.
In the senior year, so did y'all really feel y'all had a chance to win the state title that year?
We not only felt it was destiny, we knew we was the best team. We legitimately felt, because we had Tom Ross transfer in from Lakewood.
I remember that.
We really felt we were a top 5 team in the state. That's what we felt. And when we knew, when we were called, it was universally acknowledged we were the best backcourt in the state. That wasn't a thing that was said. That was, you can go to the Star Legend, they would say the best backcourt in the state of New Jersey for 1992 was us. Or whatever.
Talk that.
So, and for many years, people don't know this, me and Deion was the highest scoring. So there was something that was written that for 2 guys to play the exact same 4 years at the exact same high school and during the same time period, we were the highest scoring duo in state history for a number of years, because we left with a combined 3,920 points, and nobody had done the same 4 years. Now there've been things like Milt Wagner was a year ahead of Billy Thompson and things like that, but they talk about 2 people who came in his 9th grade, stayed at the same school, went all the way through. I remember somebody had wrote in one of the Princeton papers or something, we were the highest scoring duo that they could think of in the state at that time. I can't verify, but they were pretty certain that no 2 duo had done that at the same time and scored almost 4,000 points.
Now let's get there, bro, because
I know where you.
I want to know how this game got put together, because it wasn't on the schedule.
It was not on the schedule
because I was playing JV basketball then, and they told us we was playing 100. We was hyped, and we beat y'all JV by like 82.
Like 900 points. 900 points. You damn bullies. You know what happened. You know what y'all did.
How did this game get scheduled, man? And what happened, bro? Take us to how we got scheduled. What y'all coach said to y'all? Like, I want to know the whole shebang, bro.
No, great. This is gonna probably be, if anybody watched this, especially people from the area, from our home, they're gonna really want to know what happened. So the game wouldn't get scheduled. To be honest, we wasn't shooting for Trenton High. We were shooting for McCorston. And I'm gonna give you the thing. We thought McCorston was gonna be the best team in the area other than us. The reason being is people, and you know this, nobody knew that Brother Man was gonna be eligible. So Trenton High, we knew they would always be good. They Trenton High, but it wasn't like that for us, because we was all thinking like we want to go against Cam Teller. Cam just signed with George Mason. We all Division I guys. This is the school that most people knew we was gonna go to. We wanted to play at the Iron Mike gym, and we wanted to smack them there or whatever like that. And this is my guy. Coach Casado was not gonna put us on that schedule. He was not gonna put us on that schedule.
They was ducking y'all, son.
They was not gonna put us on that schedule because, and I know now, he didn't want to have to answer how the hell them 2 dudes ain't playing for you.
Wow.
He didn't want to have, and they and we would have got them pretty bad that year. To be honest with you, we were the better team, and and we were clearly the better team. So they wouldn't get us. We go in. I'll never forget this. We played Princeton Day School, James Reed. We beat them. We beat them pretty handily, whatever it was. And no, let me take that back. Pennington Prep, Maurice Howlett, who went to Lehigh with me. That's who we played. Because we played James Reed and them after we played Trenton High. We played them, and we smacked them by like 40. I ain't even gonna lie. And somehow, some way, they I remember one of us in thing said, we the best team in the area, bar none.
I remember that.
And we the best team.
I remember that. And I think, and if I remember, I think Leggett felt some kind of way about that too.
And then we all 17, 18. I said, and I remember I jumped on and said, best team in the area. We the best. We got the best 2 players in the area, so it's clear cut. We the best team in the area. So I said that. That's what started off. And then coach, I remember Coach Long came to me and Dion didn't tell us though. He said, "I'm gonna have a surprise for y'all. I think next week." He said we're gonna have a surprise for y'all. All right, whatever. We thinking other stuff. Yeah, I remember we played Stephon Marbury that year and stuff.
I remember.
That. Yeah, Steph was a freshman. He was nice. He had like 24. But Dion didn't miss that game because of an ankle injury.
I remember that.
I gave Steph 43.
I remember that.
So now he's a young boy. I knew I had to get him in because if I saw him a year later, it's gonna be problems. So let's make that clear. I'm gonna get you now while you're in your infantile stage because it's gonna be trouble. But man, we went through that, and then the next week I never forget we in the gym. He's like, "Yo, we about to watch some film on like whoever we about to play," and he like, I want y'all to know on January 24th. I remember the date. January 24th, we gonna play, and we like, yo, our ears pop up. But where he gonna say McCorston? I knew he was gonna say McCorston. In Trenton High's Tornado Alley, my brain froze. What? There's no way. The game, you remember, Mike, the game happened in like 9 days.
That's what I'm saying. All I know, they told us we gonna play Hunt. I'm like, word?
We played on a Friday. It was like when he told us we played that Friday. That was like January 24th. It was a Friday. It might have been 8 days in between them games.
Yeah, it was like they just set it up right in the end.
Right,
real quick.
Like that. A team canceled with us. They looked at their thing. Somebody from the CVC moved their game because of a snow day with Trenton High. That Friday, the alley got a rock on Friday. The alley got a rock on a Friday night. You know that, I know that. They scheduled that joint. We just knew. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of like, like you want to be prepared for it, but because I'm like, all right, cool, and whatever like that. And then we played Petty the game before. We beat the dog shot Petty. Lady showed up. The game is scheduled now. We know we're gonna play them Friday. Let's say that's Tuesday. We beat them by whatever, 1 million points. I remember Dion had 26, and somebody who was with Leggett said, yo, I don't think it's gonna happen with Willie Dotson. And I never forget Dion saying, I'm gonna get my career high.
Now let's get to the game.
Yes,
all I know, our JV game was over, and I was sitting in the stands watching, and this joker just come out with 2 basketballs, like boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, and then the whole Miller Holmes stood up, and then it was like, bro, the excitement in there was crazy.
Dude.
So I'm gonna let you take over, man. Take us from there. How was the feeling? Like, what was going through your mind, your body, everything during that time?
Man, all I remember was when we was changing. And I had been, because all the connections I had been in Trent High's locker room 1 million times. But putting on the uniform in Trenton High, yo, that joint was still to this day gives me the greatest chills other than my kids being born.
Wow.
There's no exaggeration. I remember putting on my number 24, and I'm like, yo, and even though I was in the visitors' locker room and all that type of stuff, I'm in the alley and I'm about to rock. And I played in the alley before for summer leagues and all that.
Yeah.
But this is real.
Yeah, that thing was crazy.
We was crazy. We came out. I've never been so hyped. I could have sparred Mike Tyson. We were so hyped at the thing. Miller Holmes came out and took the whole
I know.
I know. Took all the bleachers. And
I know.
And then I had a strong contingent of the section. DDH rocked with Trenton High. They was all on. DDH was straight Trenton High at the time, down the hill, West Trenton. But I had the section, and Dion had the Holmes, and we had that side. And I don't think there's ever been a Trenton High game where there's been we ain't gonna over exaggerate it, but 25% hardcore is root. You don't even give out tickets like that. And so they came out. I mean, we came out and it was just, we was on fire. And then I remember Brother Man and them coming out, and I remember them leading. I remember Terry Peterson. They did something. He didn't dunk it because you couldn't dunk a layup, but he did.
I remember. Then y'all start the game with the lob to Ross?
Go right here. Go right on here. So the ball goes up. We get the ball. Something happens. We throw it to one of our dudes. Nervous. The ball pops up. Terry Peterson gets the ball. I try to run him down. I was trying to pin him to the glass. He did a little like reverse something, laid up 2-0 Trenton High. Everybody, you hear it. You heard it. We call Rocket. That was our play. Rocket. I'd say the Rocket. True story. I'm one of the best lob passers that you could think. I just always could throw a lob. We call that Rocket. Do that back screen. T. Ross, who had like a 39.
Remember that.
Hit that joint. And you remember, Mike, he dunked that joint hard.
I know.
Right.
I know.
The game was popping. So I'll go back to part of the game when you knew the game was going to be crazy. So, going back and forth. Trenton High going a little run. And so they up. Trenton High goes up. JoJo Barber, I think is the only point he scored that game. JoJo Barber hits a 3. And I remember the game they go up 22-13. It's first quarter. We going at it. We going up before. Dion takes the ball. Boom, 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 boom. Breaks the press. Pulls up on 3. You ain't even see people pull up on 3 like that. 22-16. Ball comes in. 5 seconds later, he rips somebody. Layup. 22-18. The next play, we pressing. They throw. I intercept the pass. I go and give him the James Worthy one-hand scoop layup. 22-20. And then we literally in less than a minute we was up 24-22. That's
that was a classic. But it went in 1 or 2 overtimes. It went 2 overtimes.
Double overtime. And at the end of the day, you want to give respect to respect due. Brother man John Lindsay.
He was a savage.
Brother man John Lindsay. So if you want to talk about he was the black left-handed Nikola Jokic. He just did everything. So he had 38 and 24 rebounds.
He was a savage. He used to tap one side of the backboard, lay it up on the other side.
The ball would come off. He would tap here, tap it back to him, tap it back to him, and then shoot that left hand jumper or whatever like that. So
that was a classic.
So we went back and forth. It's still controversial. Don't do my shot count at the end of that first overtime. You know that.
Speaking of that, bro, you know the question I'm gonna ask: Who got the tape, bro?
Huh?
Now, who got the footage? Who got the tape? Because it was always a tape out there that people said like nobody knew who had it, but it was a tape out there. Who got the tape, bro?
I had the tape for years. Went away to Lehigh. A cousin of mine wanted to show the tape. And the tape just became like the old school hip hop tape when they would talk about when people would do the diss songs and you would hear it on the cassette tape and it would just circulate around. The tape we couldn't find the tape. We could never. We would. This dude had the tape. All right, you still got it. Nah, I let my cousin. And the tape became lost in memory. And then what happened? The only other person who got the tape probably is our coach from Hun, Coach Long, Kevin Long. But he moved to Dallas. He left. And when I asked him about the tape, he said in the movement he don't know where it's at.
Man, that was the game though. So now y'all going on in y'all senior year, and it's time for that rematch, the big payback, brother. Take me to that next game with Benedict's, man.
So we play. So if you look at that picture, there's an interesting picture there. The on the corner over there, you see Tom Ross. And he's not playing. He was suspended for the rest of the year because the reason I had pulled back on that PDS game, we played PDS after we played Trenton High. We pissed. We beat them by 1,000,000 points. Something happens at the end of the game, like thumb elbow, something like that.
Go ahead.
T. Ross, who's from Lakewood, and is the last thing you won't ever think of him as not being about it. Somebody said something. T. Ross hit bull. Wow. Knocked Homie out. This doesn't really matter, but some a very well-to-do white kid or whatever like that. And, which doesn't, the race doesn't really matter in that. But dude's dad was a lawyer. He threatened his son, everything else like that. So they suspended Tom for the remainder of the year. So we didn't know. So now we going into the game.
I remember seeing that in the newspaper.
Yep, and
I remember that.
I never forget that was one of his great games too. He had like 20 at halftime. He was on the vengeance because he felt he got done dirty by Brother Man, and so boom boom boom. So we lose our big man or whatever like that, and that's why you see him there. He couldn't play. He came to every game, was there with the supporters, but couldn't play or whatever like that. So we get to the St. Benedict's game. Tom, we knew they couldn't be. We played them already early in that year with Tom or whatever like that. We beat them by like 15. But we didn't really know what we would be able to do with the size game. It was the same thing as the year before. We start off the game, they jump on us. Like, I'm my memory's pretty much correct, but maybe at some point in the game it's 24-10. They kind of jump on us. The sidebar to this is that Dion had sprained his ankle and was playing at 60%. I had a 4-game stretch where I had 43 because Dion couldn't play 43, 39. And 30.
I remember you was going crazy.
Yeah.
I was looking in the paper. I remember you was going ham.
Yeah, and so now we got D back, and D is still locking in, and he's still directing, but he couldn't do what he normally do. Now I say that he still had 18 in that game, but so he still did his thing. I got hot, and it was just one of those things. We wasn't gonna lose, so I hit them for about 6 threes. I hit for 33. And we end up coming back, and I never forget D just locking in on Elijah Allen. Like he couldn't do what he normally do, but he just locked in on Elijah Allen, who was nice, left hand kid, and locked in, shutting down because he got off the first half because D wasn't guarding him, and then because they was like, we don't know how his ankle is. D just said, yo, I got him, and D shut him. I'm talking about put him in the freezer. I'll come get you later. And it was over. And then they had this boy that's supposed to guard me cooking him, and we just went ham, and we ended up winning whatever it was. I remember we wasn't like a super close game. We ended up winning by 8 or 9 or whatever like that. And that was it. So I got state tournament MVP, for that. And then the very next day I decided I wasn't going to go to Boston University. I was going to go to Lehigh University.
Now, how did it feel finally getting that chip, man? Like being able to get out of high school with that championship. Was it any ever thought in your mind that y'all might not get one before y'all left home?
I don't think we ever thought that we wouldn't, but there was definitely like everything that could go wrong went wrong. T-Boss getting suspended. This happened.
Wow. Yup, you're right.
So we kept wondering, like, yo, are we cursed or whatever like that? But we knew we needed it because just like anything else, you can't really talk about you nice if you don't got a chip. It just don't work like that. For the most, I mean, especially at where we playing in the prep. I mean, it's different if you losing in the Group 4 state championship game against Camden or Linden. I mean, or something, Elizabeth or something like that. I mean, because nobody ain't gonna say Steve Worthy ain't nice or something like that. But we needed that chip. It was a validation of what we was doing, and yeah, we had to do it. When we got that, I never forgot. Like, I remember Akeem Elijah when I saw him in '94 when he won his first chip against the Knicks, and he was sitting on the table, and you would think he was going crazy. Remember how, like, when Jordan won his, he was crying and all this and everything else like that. Akeem just kind of sat and was like, the relief.
Yeah, wow.
The relief of just, this is, I don't even know if I said this is what it's supposed to feel like. I just like, we did everything. And, looked at my homie, looked at the rest of the team, and just like, mission accomplished, bro. We did what we supposed to do or whatever like that. And then, go ahead.
Now, during that time, y'all see Trent High gets knocked off in the tournament by Bridgewater Barrington with John and them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did y'all ever have any discussions on, because I asked Marcus Bass the same question, did y'all ever have any discussions on how it would have been if you and Dion and maybe even Cameron Taylor from Corson, if all y'all went there, did y'all have those kind of discussions?
Trenton High during that era, the reason people talk about Trenton High not winning the state championship was there was really no city, with maybe the exception of Camden, that was producing more talent than what we was, but we were too spread out. There's no you want to tell me that in '89 Trenton High don't win a championship with Cave at the point? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Trenton High was a state championship. They lose by 4 to Elizabeth. Cave at the point, Blitz on that squad with Steve and Mata and Face. They win by 30. The only team that might beat them in the state is that great St. Anthony's team, which is one of the greatest teams of all time. That's that's straight up. Then the next year in 1990, you gonna tell me they don't win? They win. I mean, of course they won a state championship. You don't tell me they don't win the tournament champions if Kibo ain't on that squad. If Butchie ain't on that squad, you gonna tell me that? Nah, I don't believe that. You gonna tell me if me and Dion are sophomores, we don't win the state championship. We doing whatever it's gonna be. And Mark Bass is on that squad. So Trenton is, McCourtney held it down for the city as representing Trenton, but Trenton High, which is the flagship school, has always been a little bit lost because we just didn't get everybody there. So for us, we always thought about it because there's no way in the world. I know in 1992, we not only would have won the state championship with me, Dion, and Brother Man, we would have won the TOC.
You talking heavyweight right now.
I'm good friends with Danny Earl. I'm cool with Danny Earl, who they won the TOC that year. Shawnee.
I remember.
They wouldn't have beat us with that squad. They wouldn't beat us with that squad.
What could have been, man? What could have been? What
could have been? They did an all-area team that went from Burlington to Mercer County, and what's funny was the all-area team was in the Trenton Times. I think it's an article probably on my Facebook. It was me, Dion, Danny Earl. That was, you see 2 of us. It was me, Dion, Danny Earl, Brother Man, and somebody else. We had 3 of the 5. The other 2, the 2 of them was in from Burlington County. They was Anthony Smith and Danny Earl. We to beat both of them, and they were great. They were great teams. I don't want to take nothing away from them. They would not. They would. I used to mess with my man Romeo Haywood from Atlantic City when they came and got that winning train. Like, and I told him after the game, I was at the game. We played you. You know what happened. Y'all wasn't here today. I ain't worried about that.
Now, I'm looking at this all area joint, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all, what's the name and stuff? Y'all won a state title, UND and stuff. How did win player of the year and they ain't give y'all co-player of the year?
We asked them that, right? We said why, and they said we couldn't choose between y'all. So we said,
I knew you was gonna say that. When I said I'm gonna ask him this question. He probably gonna say that. So why they just give y'all co-player of the year?
We said, why you just give us co-player of the year? Because we didn't. We won. I don't know if you know, we won Mr. Basketball in Mercer County. We both got Mr. Mercer County basketball. So we like that don't make sense. And Bo went to Lehigh with me. That's my dude. But they were terrible that year. We beat them. We beat them by 45 points or whatever like that. We it doesn't make. I to this day I would rather them just gave the award to Dion or just gave it to me, whatever. And let us be pissing each other. But that was more of a travesty or whatever like that. But it was what it was. And like you said, how you do that and then you don't make he ain't even on the first team or whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I asked Red Birch. Red Birch used to be the guy. I asked him about it. He said, well, at the end of the day, we didn't, it was too hard to choose between y'all, and we didn't want to cause it. We that don't make no sense. But it was what it was. But thank God. We happy for everything else we got. So I'm not gonna worry about that.
Now let's talk about this AAU squad I discovered.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all had a lot of area talent on here, bro. Go over some of the dudes that's in this picture, man.
All right, so let's go up top. So you see on the side the young light-skinned boy, that's Brand Reynolds, Division I player at Maryland Eastern Shore. Then you see our boy Jesse Glover, great guy, won a state championship at Ewing High School, whatever like that. Then you see Jerry, played at McCorston. You see Mo Hallett, played at Pennington Prep, scored 1,700 points at Pennington Prep, played with me at Lehigh. Reggie Coleman, another great player at McCorston. My boy. Jabri Parker, God bless his soul, God bless the dead. Stopped playing basketball at a certain time, but was really good. Cam Teller went to George Mason. And once again, unfortunately, we lost a couple people in this picture. Cam also passed away. But you know, he was another Division I player, 1,500 point scorer. Tom Ross, who played with us, would have been a Division I basketball player. Played football at the University of Cincinnati.
I remember.
Started 3 years at University of Cincinnati. Then you go in the bottom. You got my man Karan Johnson, Deion Haynes, first Hall of Fame at Rider University. All 90s all NEC Northeast Conference team. You know me, Hall of Fame at Lehigh. 1,700 points or whatever it was there. You know, our man June, and then we just had our man Keith Williams at the end. So you talk about like 6, 7 Division I players.
You only have Brother Man?
Brother Man did. So what's funny about this picture, he did play. He didn't play in this tournament.
Okay.
So he did play,
Okay.
And this was also one of the times where Brother Man had to go, and he was trying to get his grades right because he couldn't get eligible at Trent High.
Yeah. So give me some good couple memories from some of the battles y'all had with this squad right here. Who are the coaches?
So you look over there, you look at Deion's stepfather, Lonnie Bass Knight, just one of who everybody in Trenton knows, just one of the great.
Look at Lonnie, my guy right there.
just one of the great people in Mercer County. That's my dude. That's my guy right there. Over all the way to the left, that was Jesse's pop, Big Jess or whatever like that. I don't know. I think his name. I might be wrong on that, but I called him Mr. Glover. But I think his name. But whatever, just another good guy. And we had other people. Cam Teller's pop helped out a lot and stuff like that. And the funniest thing about that squad. So I'm gonna be honest. I didn't always play with them. I would play with the New York Gauchos sometimes. I would play with a couple of Philly teams, and I would always try to diversify. Deion always played, always did his thing, always represented Trenton to the fullest or whatever like that. But I never forget, we played Newark Rams one week. This is a true story. This goes back. This goes back a little bit. We were in 8th grade. We played Newark Rams. We played them in Essex County Community College. We beat them from Trenton Stallions. Beat them by like 8 or 9 or whatever like that. We had to come back the next week and play them in Keene, your alma mater, and we played them again the next week. These dudes, we hold on. That's not the same squad y'all had last week.
Nah, B was up to his tricks. B had some stuff going on.
B showed up with Roderick Rhodes and Wally Dixon. I never forget this to this day. A shot went up on the corner. I don't know who it was. Don't matter. That joint came off. Roderick Rhodes came off, and this he going in 9th grade. He takes it out of somebody's hand and turns over. Boom, misses the dunk, but we're 8th and 9th graders. We smacking the glass. He trying to do follow-up dunks. Lanny Butler, who was coaching this game, I never forget. He called timeout. Please, anybody watch this, I don't normally talk like this, or I do, but I don't say it on purpose. And I'm just for full context. You mother blanky blank, he ain't old enough. We just went. It was crazy because they just showed up with everybody, and it was and even with all them showing up, they beat us. We still only lost by 5. We went everywhere with the squad and just did work with anywhere. Won state championship twice. They played against guys who I was good friends with. Lawrence Thomas, who was at Elizabeth High School. My other man, who I'm forgetting his name. I saw Chemo in here. He know my man name. He was from Newark. He was nice. Played with them too. He went to like Shabazz or something like that. He was nice. Had to handle the whole 9. It was good times, man. The state was rocking. The state was rocking.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
What's the name asked me? He I'm trying to send him the link. He said Blur said he wanted to come on. I was trying to send him a link. Trying to send it to his Yo, hey Blur, message me your email and I'll send you the link so you could come on. Send me your email. Message me your email on Facebook and I'll send you the link so you could come on. I gotta email you the link and then you could come on. Let's get into. Yeah. So then after that, you got to go into how did you get to Lehigh?
So I kind of thought I was gonna go to Boston University. So my final schools was University of Pennsylvania, Boston University, Lehigh, Loyola, Baltimore, Maryland, and I think it might have been Holy Cross or something like that. I mean, I had about 34 Division I offers, like full scholarships on the table, whatever like that. One of the things that playing with Deion, that was a benefit. We gave each other a lot of attention, but we also split scholarships. So when Manhattan came to see us, they heard about us as a backcourt. Steve Lapis, who became the coach of Villanova, fell in love with Dion and rescinded interest in me or whatever like that. Because he's like, and a lot of people just figured we wouldn't want to play with each other again in college or whatever like that. Ryder kind of went all the way in with D. That would be, and St. Joe's. I got an offer from LaSalle. Dion got an offer from St. Joe's. St. Joe's was more interested in him. They was more interested in him and possibly playing with Bass and all those guys there. They was ready to go. So those was kind of both the good things that happened, but the little things because they wouldn't us being not, I'm 6 foot, Dion's 5'9", me, us not really being big guards, they wasn't gonna take both of us.
I can see that.
So sometimes that would just happen, and stuff like that. And we got recruited by most of the Big Five schools or whatever like that, in some way. Dion had an offer from Temple. I had LaSalle. He had St. Joe's. And I had Penn. And so I had Drexel. Drexel was my other school. That was the other school. That was one of my 5.
Yeah. So then, what sold you on Lehigh?
Simple, man. The academics. It was other than Penn, it was the best academic school. It was a top 40 school in the country. So I knew I would get a good job if the basketball didn't work out. And just opportunity. When I was looking at all the other spots, the Penn thing, I really wanted to go to Penn, but they had Pooh Allen there the year before. And you just didn't want to put myself in a situation where, where they go. I knew I'm not going to start over him because he's from Philly, but are they going to play us together? And then it was the best thing I didn't go to Penn because then Matt Maloney transferred in from Vanderbilt, who ended up playing for the Houston Rockets for a little bit. So
now you get there. You take off straight, bro.
Yeah.
Patriot League rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
Take me through that first year and then some of the adjustments you had to make, man.
Did not start the first 6 games of my freshman year, and first game we played Drexel, we played Malik Rose. And remember, this is like my second or third choice. We lose to them. I play horrible. First game I just played terrible or whatever like that, and it's just taking me a minute to get in there. And we started off like 1-5, 2-4, something like that. And I'm starting to complain to the coach. So I think our seventh game was against Villanova, Kerry Kittles and stuff like that. And I think he's like, you know what, Big Mouth, we're gonna let you see what you're gonna do. You play against Villanova. First career start, ain't nobody gonna say I had 25 and nothing like that. 12 points, 5 assists. Never not started another game after that. And just slowly during that year, I went from probably averaging my first 7 to 8 games, like 4 points a game, to by the time I was done, it was like I think I averaged like 12.7 and like 3 assists, playing the point, which I wasn't a natural point guard. But I just knew what to do, and I just got better and better as the year got on, and we just started rolling. And so I was rookie of the year. I came in second for Lehigh. Freshman of the year for sports. The guy who beat me out ended up making the Olympics for wrestling. So he was an All-American. He was one of the best wrestlers in the country. That was my guy too. Whatever like that. So and then sophomore year,
you went ham your sophomore year. You
averaged like 20 deuce.
And you went ham your sophomore year.
I'm giving people the business. First game my sophomore year, career high 30 points. Second game my sophomore year, I get 33. At the end of the first 2 games, I'm averaging 31.5, and I'm like 6th in the nation in scoring. My sophomore year is big dogs year, or whatever. And then Chemo got on, and he knew everybody knew I was a basketball head. I used to shoot in the mirror to see how I would look, because in the mirror everything's reversed. I'm left-handed. I wanted to see if I could shoot like the way Jordan shot, looking right-handed.
I love that. That's dope.
So it's crazy like that. I was just so into basketball. I was so locked in, and then just that year, I remember. In between my freshman sophomore year, this is probably when I really felt myself. I played in the Sunny Hill League, so I didn't really play it. I didn't play at the park until I played the park after my senior year of high school. Didn't play for the next 3 years, and then I played after I graduated Lehigh or whatever like that. But when people wasn't seeing me, they didn't know what I was doing. I was playing in Sunny Hill and on the deli, and Mark Bass was too. I got to give Bass his due. we were both playing Sunny Hill, and we were playing against nothing but pros. Eric Key, Eddie Jones, Alvin Williams, Jason Lawson, Rasheed Wallace. Lou Rowe would come back in from UMass Atlantic City. He was playing. This is who we was playing. The Catino Mobley, who I became cool with at the time, and probably don't remember me now because we ain't seen each other. I played with Big Mark Jackson. My first game in Sunny Hill, we only got 6 people to show up. I don't know nobody on there. I know a lot of people in Philly, but I'm not really from Philly, even though I'm cool with Rasheed Wallace. And we playing Eddie Jones and a couple of them. This is going into Eddie Jones' senior year. We was a top 10 pick. First of all, he had like 40. But I remember scoring 10 straight points in that game, and it wasn't on Eddie Jones. Make that clear. I'm not saying I was doing that on Eddie Jones, but just doing it with him on the court made me feel like, yo, I'm real. I could do some stuff or whatever like that. Now, once again, you realize quickly there's levels. Like I said, I probably had a smooth 21, a good 21, made a good show for myself. I'll never forget, he had 39 and like 9 dunks. And you immediately come back and you start telling people there's levels to this. The very next game we played Kerry Kittles after his freshman year, and he had like 30. And once again, I'm not playing them, I'm not matching up with him, but I do another good game. And just the fact that I could go against them, that really led me to when I went and got back to my sophomore year. That's how I really started off real strong.
Yeah, then you junior year, you kick off still, then you finish with over 1,600 points, man. Like stellar career. Take me to like sum up that Lehigh career, man. That whole experience, man.
Man, it's 2 things with it. It's the only words is bittersweet because 2 things. Never made the NCAA tournament, which I really wanted to do. So that's a regret that I live with. I never can say I played in the NCAA tournament. So that didn't happen. And then I was on pace for everything, even the 1,600 points. That's a misnomer of what I really could do because in my senior year, we played 29 games. I missed 14.
Yeah, I saw that.
I had a stress fracture in the foot, and it's just one of those things you couldn't get surgery. You had to. So I was off and on. I was like Kawhi Leonard. I was a Kawhi Leonard. You didn't know what you were gonna get from me from game to game. And so my average went from 20, 21 to like 16, 17. I'm not really myself. And then, not that I never thought I was gonna get drafted, nothing, but you're thinking like if I play good, I'll get into a camp, I'll do this, I could be a preferred free agent signing. You thinking all those things, all that goes by the wayside. And then I started just working out in the summer in Philly. But little things happen. I met this young kid who just was really good, was really nice, was busting everybody ass. Some dude named Kobe. And he was a young boy. And remember I told you how good Eddie Jones was. I saw him cook him at 17. And I remember coming back and telling people, I think I just saw the next Jordan. And now this is the wild thing. I want to be 100. They was like, he gonna skip college. No guard can skip college. It's only for big men. They can't do that. He gonna get cooked. That's dumb. But he nice. He nice though. And Kobe ended up becoming my favorite player.
Hold up. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Now, how do it feel, bro? Like to be a Hall of Famer on all 3 of these levels. So when you go into the CYO, the Hunt School, and Lehigh, you could look at your joint and be like, damn, I'm in the Hall of Fame.
Just trying to keep up with Dion. I can't not we that's our rule.
That's dope. That's dope.
And we have a thing, me and Dion have a thing, when people get on Facebook, it's all fun and games, so we don't want nobody to take it serious. But when we talk about ball, we have 3 words we always say: check the books.
I like that.
So when we talking and somebody say this, that, and third, our easy comeback line is check the books. It's just those 3 words. It's all we gonna say is check the books, because when you check it, this is what's gonna come up. And we feel comfortable where we at, because opinions are one thing, but like I said, check the books, and we gonna do what we need to do. That's gonna say what we need to do. So I'm real, I'm very blessed. I'm happy with all things that happen. I just think that I think having Dion there by my side pushed me to another level. I think being from Trenton pushed me to another level. It was just so many guys that I was watching, and I'm just that dude. Like Mark Bass had 30, I gotta get 30.
I love it.
I
love it.
Cave, Cave. I remember being a junior in high school, and Cave got player of the game against Oklahoma in Norman, Oklahoma. Motivated, like Trenton was motivating at that time because there was so many cats doing it at the time, and I was so happy to be from Trenton. I really rep Trenton to the fullest because I just felt we never got our due, and so I just was always big on everything or whatever like that. I still remember bragging when Terrence Stokes ran for 287 yards against Princeton, against Princeton University, and broke the UPenn rushing record in that game or whatever like that. And people forget he got a write up in Sports Illustrated.
I remember that. Shout out to T Stokes for that. I remember that. I remember that.
Trenton was just rolling at the time. Terrence Heat Cawthorn, doing this thing, making
doing Olympics. Yeah, doing Olympics. Yep.
I was motivated because I just saw so much talent from the city.
Indeed. So take us. I know you said you played at Sunny Hill, but give us some Cowboy Park work, Unlimited League stuff. Man. What were some of your memories out there, bro? Take us to the park, bro.
So first year, like I said, I played park after I graduated high school. So I played the first 5 games of the park, and then I had to go to Lehigh for basically what you would call like EOF or whatever, like
yeah,
stuff like that. So I missed. I was there for 4 weeks, so I missed a bunch of games. Came back, we playing. I come back that day, come up, and didn't even know what time the game was. Got there, they already playing the game. I didn't think we was playing it because nobody told me. But I did have on basketball shorts and everything else like that. We playing T-Train. I'm playing with Chemo Dowling at the time. We playing T-Train, Blitz. We playing Blitz, Cave, all that whole crew, whatever like that. And this was when they did the best of 3 in the semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
So Trenton All Stars won the first game. We lost the second game. I came in. We was down 8. And Kev, once again, God rest his soul, was just like, "Yo, can you play?" I was like, I was not expecting to play. He's like, "I need you." So we get in there and we go at it with them. T-Train won. I don't want to take nothing away. T-Train won that game. But I remember getting in with 4 minutes left in the first half and getting like 16 points. I just remember the electricity of the Capitol Park. Let's forget what I did. It doesn't really matter. There was no summer league like Capitol Park. There was just no summer league. I played in Sunny Hill. There was no talent like Sunny Hill League. The talent was just incredible. I probably played against 15 other NBA guys, future NBA guys. But intensity, excitement, and everything else, there was nothing like Capitol Park. Nothing like Capitol Park. Then when we graduated, I come back to Trenton, trying to get the overseas deal, and I'm trying to get my foot right. So I started playing Capitol Park. And we was rolling. And I remember just killing that in summer or whatever like that, just doing my thing, making it happen. And like I said, Dion was always a motivation because then he got a deal in England. And then I was able to use some connections we had from Italy to try to go over there and make a couple of twies and stuff like that. And it was just, just Trenton. It still goes back to just grinding that summer in Trenton. I ain't have to go nowhere, and it got me back right.
Indeed. Now let's get into during this time you seem to have had great at networking and stuff like that, man. Then you kind of went into the next phase of basketball. You started making relationships, man, and I'm gonna give you props for introducing me to a lot of people. Once I got with Metro Hoops and started making my way, you know what I'm saying, introducing me to a lot of people, man. And let's get into the next part.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Put it in you being a plug, man. Talk about how did you even get into wanting to maneuver in those kind of rooms and do that kind of stuff, man.
So we gonna throw some flowers both ways. In grassroots basketball, there's a lot of people there or whatever like that. There's a lot of people who's in grassroots basketball but a lot of people don't really know how to move. I had two college degrees. I did well at Lehigh. I was real smart, and I don't like to say that because that's not my decision, but I think I knew a couple of things. I knew how to carry myself, and I knew how to talk to people, and I knew how to talk, and it did help that I had a minor in psychology, so I knew how to kind of maneuver stuff and just talk to people, and you knew how to maneuver in different avenues. You knew the difference between talking to a cat who was from Soundview Projects in the Bronx or whatever like that, and somebody who's also from Short Hills, New Jersey. I could talk to both. And during that time, if I was to be honest, it was the fact that
you're yelling.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro. I'm listening.
Me and I had a lot of friends who just had started to really get in the game. And one being, one Mike Melton. And we kind of went through a lot of stuff together. Laughing, laughing, talking about you see that little so and so Sebastian Telfer you. I remember that talk, and then I remember I just remember like all the things we've been through, and I remember coming to you and saying, "Yo, Mike, it's this boy from Ohio."
Oh, 100%. Well, we're gonna get to that. I remember I'm at we at ABCD, and you like. I'm like, where we going? You like, we going to see Bron. I'm like, who the hell is Bron? What are you talking about? And you like, yo, come over here. We about to go see this dude, LeBron James. I'm like, who is that? And we walk over. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's say my boy up at the Lehigh with put me on to him. And he put me on, he told me about him when he was young, when he was 14. And he said, this kid, I didn't know what the hell an Akron was. I said, Cleveland? He said, Akron. So what the hell is that? I knew the 3 C's in Ohio: Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus. That's it. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know that. And he put me on to that. But become the plug, which is kind of a nickname that I got. I just had friendships with everybody. We had my man who's on here, Frank Burno. That's like a brother to me. Book Richardson became like a brother to me or whatever like that. And then let's be real, just being fortuitous and just having a lot of luck popping your hands, and unfortunately a lot of people just messing up, and then they would come to me to clean things up. And
Indeed.
And that was kind of the whole thing. And I would just remember me and you at one point. I remember me and you playing catch and telling a dad that we knew, man, you better stop him playing basketball. He better better stop him playing baseball. He better play nothing but basketball. That turned out to be Carl Anthony Towns. And me and you sat there when Cat was nothing but 6 years old.
I know. Running around, kept getting in the layup line all in the way, telling him to go sit down somewhere.
We go tell Big Carl, we say, yo, and he talk about he gonna play baseball. He said, you see the size of that boy's feet? You don't put that boy and put us out. I said,
Metro Hoop days.
I said, I don't care if he is half Dominican. We better not ever see him play with the baseball. So
the Metro Hoop days. Yeah, so a lot of the plugs that you did, I remember one time, and you reminded me, I was supposed to cover Camp Next, and I was supposed to go up there that one day, and I told you to do it for me. Yep. I think I had to leave or something like that. And my first wife, we had something going on, and I had to leave. And then I come back the next day, and then you tell me about this kid, Tyreek Evans. That was take us to that moment, and then what you saw that started your relationship, man.
So how simple life is, how simple life goes. My brother called me, Mike, like, hey man, I got something, just a family thing to do, take care of, nothing serious, but just like, yo, I'm gonna take care of this. Can you cover it and write something for me or whatever like that? And this goes into being the plug. I think you felt comfortable knowing I'm gonna take it seriously. Once I told you, I would do it, you knew I had you. And so I went there. And so there was a kid named Antonio Scoop Jardine, who lives in Jersey City where I live at, who I see every so often, went to Syracuse, a great player at Syracuse. And he was like kind of the headliner that people was talking about.
Yep. I went there to see him.
Then it was young Lance Stevenson, who they was talking about. Then you had, which is funny. Remember the big hype with Irv Walker.
That's what I went to see. I couldn't believe it was somebody number 3 in the country or something like that at 5'5" 5'3". So I'm
5'3".
like, I gotta go see who this is.
Yeah. So I was, and part of that conversation was like, yo, man, tell me, is it real with this kid Irvin Walker, man? Because we kept saying he's 5'3".
Yeah, I got in trouble too. Irvin Walker I did a write up on Irvin Walker and got in trouble with G. Yeah. So we go out. So after I did after I saw him play at Camp Next, right? You know, I'm all young and retarded or whatever. So I wrote, Irvin Walker played good. He did this, but number 3 in the country is a little far-fetched, right? So now the when the camp over, I go out to lunch with G, right? So now me and G sitting at lunch. You know, he do the pharmaceutical thing, so he took me to lunch, right? We sitting at lunch at the table. Mike Moore calls him. So he looks at his phone. He like, oh, this Mike Moore. Hold on. Already know what it's about.
You know what happened.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there.
Y'all went to Houston, if I remember. In T-Deck.
Right. So I'm looking at his face, and he talking to Mike. He like, what's up, Mike? And he did what? And he just looking at me and already knew what it was, man. All right, back to the story with Reek, man. Go ahead.
Reek comes. Reek is about 6'2". He weighed 100 pounds soaking wet. He's thin, but he got these long arms. He walks in the court. He makes one move. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Long, lanky kid. You know, that's a good move. You know, because you didn't really think he would be fluid like that. He comes down and he puts on a show. He cooking. He cooked this kid from Ohio. He ended up going to Ohio State. He was in McDonald's of America. I can't think of money name right now. But he cooked him something fierce. So I'm like, yo, I gotta watch him. He plays somebody else, cooks them. Scoop is killing. Scoop is over here killing. Looking real. Then he plays Lance Stephenson. For people who don't know the ins and outs of grassroots basketball, Lance Stephenson at this time they were saying was going to be better than Stephon Marbury, Kenny, and everything. They was talking that he might be the best guy to come out of New York since Kareem. By the way, the kid would end up being a McDonald's of America. So we not but this is the hype he is. So Lance is like that dude. Reek plays him, and it just I'm not going to disparage no kid, but it was clear he was the best player there. So I go to Reek and say, yo, let me holler at you real quick. I said, is your family here? He said, yeah, they're right there. I said, okay, cool, because they only like 14, 15. I have a rule. I don't talk to no unless I know you already, because it's just it's that weird thing. Because I was young, we was all young, we like 20.
Yeah, indeed. Look at this picture. We super young.
We young, we kids. So, but it's still that respect factor, and that's why kind of that plug thing started happening, because I would do it the right way. So I just want to holler at your peoples. I go there, I tell them like, yo, this kid is your peoples are special. Y'all gotta really make sure he's done right, because he can be special. They looked at me and it's like, for real? It's like, yeah. I'm like, why? They like, people just don't give him his respect in the Philly area. I like, well, I'm gonna write something up. He's gonna be the number one player coming out of this camp. I'm gonna tell you what he's gonna be. And I literally said could be the next best player to come out of the Philadelphia area since Kobe Bryant.
Indeed. And then that started the relationship. And when you knew that it was something different, at what time did you know like he was like that next level?
So I knew he was going to be big time that week. Reggie Evans, his brother, who became like a brother to me. Everybody knows how close me and Reg are. Like we're very close. We talk about everything, and we laugh about all types of crazy stuff. Reg invited me down. Said, "Yo, man, well, I know you live in New York. You ever come to?" He didn't know my history, so you know anything about the Philly area with Chester? I said, "Yo, I went to school in PA. I'm good." He's like, yo, man, why don't you come down and catch out a couple of games? And for he's playing for the Reebok Raiders. I come down there and he giving people 40, 50, 40, 50, just like back and forth. Nothing but buckets. And these are future Division I kids. The first time I knew he was different when he played the Morris twins and gave them 43.
Mm.
And I was like, my God, he's so different than everybody else. And so the next thing I know, they start having him come up to stay with me. And, he would come, I would go get him. I mean, it was funny, when you're young, you don't even think about what you're doing. I would drive from New York City, go to Chester, PA. That's another 30 minutes past Philly. Pick him up, take him back to New York, have him play ball through in the city, and then bring him back and do the same thing. And I was doing that for about 2-3 years.
I remember one time y'all stopped down at the Martin Luther King tournament to check out Tony Shenard and them, and things got ugly for Demetrius Walker.
We're gonna get to that. And one thing I said, Reek became a de facto Trenton guy because I would always bring him into Trenton. Because that when I would come get him, I would stop off at my people's crib and I would get my brother Sean Hammonds, I would have Hames come through. I would be like, yo, Mike, Reek here. We would just kick it because I needed that break. That drive was crazy. It was killing me.
Indeed.
I would take him to the parks or whatever it may be. And so then we would go back to New York. And we just became so close. And, to this day, their family's my family. And it's never stopped. I mean, we talk about it. It ain't got nothing to do with ball. Yo, I know you work at Jake Johnson & Johnson. And you open this, let me check. I got something for you. Like, that's our family or whatever like that. Unfortunately, when Reek's mom passed away several years ago, I was out of town. I canceled what I did, made sure that I showed up just for 45 minutes so they could see me at the funeral.
Indeed, you got to do that.
And they knew I had to go. And that was all it was about. And so, it started that. And then, I told them, I said, yo, y'all really need somebody that y'all need to talk to who understands and see the game I did. And the next thing I know, I linked them with you.
Yeah.
And then that was our relationships just going. And then before we get to the Demetrius Walker thing, I have to tell a funny story how Mike almost made me lose one of my close friendships when I became the plug with Truck Bryant. Woo-wee.
No, I think the Demetrius Walker thing was first. That happened first.
That was first.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna set this up. So Demetrius Walker was a kid from California. They was claiming he was the best player in the country. He was gonna be the next big thing out of California. Nobody was gonna mess with him. This kid was gonna be the next LeBron. Literally, they were saying this, LeBron.
I mean, he was on Sports Illustrated.
He was on Sports Illustrated. So he came out and he played in down the shore that you put together. And then remember they played Lloyd Daniels and them team.
It was in Lauren tournament, the MLK. I went down there to cover it.
Yep.
Lauren Jackson.
So they was with this team. They won their games, and they kept talking about they wanted to play Lance Stevenson. They did a sucker move though. They were saying Lance is scared to play, so I got to stick up for Lance Stevenson. Lance Stevenson was in season playing in New York, and he couldn't get to that tournament. So then they started talking cash. You know what? Lance scared. They want this. They want that. Everybody from the East Coast, you don't see this bonded together. Everybody bonded together. It was like, yo, we got to shut these Cali cats up. I showed up with Reek. Reek was just with me for the weekend. It was a long weekend. It
was him and Nas.
Nas.
Nas
stayed. Nas Robinson, who played in Pittsburgh. They came with me just to come to the tournament. We were just coming in because I was really coming to kick it with you. We was kicking it. Nas and Reek was your little mans in there. And we was all having fun. They taught us Chapman. The California's cats started Chapman. Reek was in white Air Force Ones. Had no basketball stuff. The Boston Saints was there. We was cool with the Boston Saints coach.
Pumpkin. My boy Pumpkin.
He said, he came and he asked you. He said, yo, we need somebody to shut these dudes up. You came to me. I said, well, listen, before I let him play, I got to call his peoples. Call, I said, because I don't want, if something happened, they got to know what's going on. Boom, 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 made the call, et cetera, et cetera. They said, all right, let him rock. But he got those sneakers. Way went in the stands and found size 13s for him from somebody. Gave him that work. He didn't start the game. He came to the game in 2 minutes. He had in 2 minutes in the 16. It was 16-minute halves. They was doing 16-minute halves at the time. They wasn't doing 8-minute quarters. They was doing 16-minute halves for this tournament. We missed the first 2 minutes, so the remaining 14 minutes in the first half, he had 27.
I remember the kids from Team Next and Gripper's squad. going, ooh, every time he come up to court, like, yeah.
And this is where this is funny. If Cali can't do nothing, they united cats that don't bang with each other. Grip and them didn't really bang with Reek and them. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
Everybody wanted to see this kid get smacked.
No.
Reek gave him that work and gave him like 35. That kid, literally, he broke his spirit.
That's what I was about to get into. He wasn't the same no more.
He was not. That kid was dunking on kids everywhere.
Yeah, it was kind of like when what's the dude that jumped in the ring with Trinidad too early? The
Fernando Vargas.
Not Vargas. The one with the eye that was in the Olympics.
David, not Wright. Was it Wright? It starts with
him.
David Reed.
Him. When he jumped in there with Trinidad too early. And he wasn't the same no more. That's what every time I see that Demetrius Walker after that, it took all his confidence and everything. Yeah.
Crossing him, hitting him with this, hitting him with everything you could think of. That boy had never seen nothing like that. And it was the first time you could tell he had ever been smacked back. He had done all the punching. He had never got punched back. And Reek took everything from him.
Indeed. Everything. So we're going to get back to him for a minute because it was the relationship with him that helped form this. Now, you had an integral part in the whole New Jersey connection and with Team Final. Reginald was doing the part on their end. Of course, they had Reek and their brother and them, but you was able to bring Rob and them into get into it. I'll let you tell it. I ain't got to tell it.
So Team Final, which is now is to me probably the preeminent AAU program in the country. And Rob Brown has done a phenomenal job just building it. So for people who don't really know, I'm probably one of the seeds that really started up to get it up, because what happened, there was no Nike team. Nike wanted to be part of the Tyreek Evans sweepstakes. And they wanted him to play for a Nike team. Reek was playing with the Reebok Raiders. They obviously wanted him out of that. But at the same time, there was no Nike team in Philly because Philly had too much going on with the grippers and these guys. Everybody was beefing, you know, and nobody was really organized at the time, unfortunately, or at least they thought. Me and Reg sat there, and I remember still meeting at Smith & Walensky's in Philly on Market Street. With we met with a couple of high level Nike guys, and they were like, "Listen, we'll let you guys create a team as long as you can get the right people in there." So for about 2 months we were just going over everything. It was even a time where I was even trying to do. I had a friend named Sean Hammers. I was even going to try to make him be a coach. I just, as you knew at the time, I was deep into my corporate career, and I don't get into it too much, but I'm big in, I have a really big corporate job, and I just didn't have the time to do some of the things. But we thought about it. Then I just thought about it. I called Rob Brown, who I've known forever. I was really good friends with his older brother, Mike Brown, and Rob had been working for New Jersey All-Stars, going all the way back. You talk about Lincoln. When we started this conversation off, I talked about playing for Frank Berg. Rob was the assistant coach for Frank Berg. Even though he's younger than me, he had became an assistant coach for Frank Berg, who had coached New Jersey All-Stars with Andrew Bynum, Jason Williams, those guys. I knew Rob was dedicated, super into it, and would make sure things was right. And Reek was like my baby brother. I had to make sure he was in good hands. And I reached out to Rob, like, Rob, you need to talk to Reg. I mean, and they had to go through some things because it was going to be incorporated under Reg, but Rob was going to be running everything. And I remember just telling Reg, he's the dude. He's the guy. He's the guy. He's the guy that's going to make sure Reek was going to be good or whatever like that. Because, at the time, we at least at the very least was like, we got to make sure Reek is good until he graduates. What goes on after that, but that was the main thing. I'm not even going to front, to make sure we got something in place, going to put Reek in a good situation that he can maximize everything. Rob came in and has literally, we incorporated Team Final somewhere in the summer of 2005. Team Final is a symbol of stuff that Reg had done for a clothing line that he was trying to get off the thing. And he was going to call it The Final. The names changed to Team Final. And we decided that this has to be what's going to go forward. And Rob, I have to give him his due. 20 years later, almost, he has now made them the preeminent AAU program, along with Team Takeover and along with Bradley Bill Elite. I would put them all at the top or whatever like that. You can, six in one hand, half a dozen the other. He has taken that program and has made them great. But that all came off the back of Tariq Evans.
Indeed. And now we're gonna get into one of his joints, man. I remember this, and this was a mean joint when he was playing against Derrick Rose and Eric Gordon at the same time. This joint was crazy.
Peace Jam, baby. Peace Jam. Peace Jam. Yeah, E. Gordon right there. I know that. I was there.
Whoa, the in and out.
Got it.
Whoa!
The freeze.
That joint was mean, man.
Dude, it was so much. Before we get to Team 5, I just have to tell one thing. If anybody want to know what the best NBA team you could ever see, Reek and them for the national championship, 14 national championship, when he played for the Reebok Raiders, beat Master P's team. Master P's team had DeMar DeRozan, Jrue Holiday, and Brandon Jennings. And Reek and Niles Robinson and this kid Jermaine who played the Rider beat them in the championship. But going back to that, that's easily one of the five. That game went into overtime. Derrick Rose won that game on the buzzer. And going back to the whole plug thing, I started to expand my guys, and then one of my brothers, Brian, my man B, who's from Chicago. He's like a brother. And he loves you. He always talks about how my man. And so going back to just the influence you started to have, Derrick Rose, who I don't really call Derrick Rose, we call him Pooh. And Pooh came out here, and I remember his brother's name is Reggie too. I was taking them out because through our connections through Chicago, they didn't really want to hang with people. They didn't trust people like that. So I would come and scoop them. We would go, and it goes to show you, this dude made $200 million. I was buying them McDonald's.
I remember.
And we was kicking it, and we would just the life I lived, and the things I saw, I was so appreciative of, bro, because it's just, you didn't think you would. I'm from off of West State Street. I didn't know I would be kicking it with Kevin Durant one day. With Reek or whatever like that. So those things happen, but that team final thing, I want to give Rob Brown his due. I want to link in there. Aaron Burt, who's a friend of mine who played the Rider with Dion, who I've known for 30 years.
Aaron Burt played the Rider?
He was recruited at Rider. By the time Dion got there, he had some injuries. He couldn't play.
Okay.
Remember AB's from Camden.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get him more here too.
Yeah. And so, and what's funny to show you how the relationships last, it was a tournament this year in January at Baruch College in New York, and we all met up and we had dinner together.
I know they told me. They told me. I'm trying to get Rob won't come on, but I'm trying to get Aaron Burke to come on here though. Aaron Burke come on.
AB good peoples, man. He'll come. And so, yeah, man. So that whole time, and then obviously Reek was kind of the Pied Piper of everything. And then what happened, I will never forget, people saw all the stuff that you were doing with him and they attributed it to me. So then everybody started coming to me like, yo, can you help him get on the company?
Yeah.
Hey, do this. And then, like I said, my other little brother was like Truck Bryant. And then you gonna go set that damn game up with him and Truck.
It wasn't supposed to be like that. What happened was
tell your stuff.
What happened was it was supposed to have been Sylvan Landisberg. So I called Sylvan Landisberg Pop to bring him to the showcase so they could get it on because I heard him talking. You get what I'm saying? He was talking a little smack. So now he did a no-show.
I remember.
Truck Bryant just happened to be there, and his mom threw him in there. It wasn't me.
I know. I joke. I mess with you because when you talk about when I got back to New York, they had me ready to be put on that cross. They like, yo, so I see what you're doing. You put your young
that wasn't my work. That wasn't my work, man. That wasn't my work, man.
And I never, that was the funniest thing. But I just remember how good those days was. We had so much fun, bro. We had so much fun. I mean,
and we about to get into the next part of it at the ABCD camp, man. Let's talk about it, man.
Here we go.
I got the Lenny Cook and what's the name on here? Lenny Cook and LeBron. We got the OJ Mayo and Lance, man. What like the electric? Just man, take me there, man. Take me how it was.
ABCD camp. So, as people would know, I eventually became kind of a Nike guy. I started doing a lot of stuff with Nike. But because I was from the area, I would always go to ABCD camp. I would go to Nike camp in Indiana. I would fly out there, and I would come back because ABCD camp, there was no camp like that. And Sonny Vaccaro was great at the matchups. He would make sure what you wanted to match up would happen, whether it was Sean Dockery versus Sebastian Telfair, whatever it was going to be, Carmelo versus Lenny Cook first day, because Carmelo could only come because he was in summer school for the first ABCD camp, and they had that New York, that tri-state crowd that would come in from all over representing. Nothing was better than ABCD camp. I was a Nike guy and still love Nike, but nothing was better.
It had the hip hop edge.
Yeah, it had everything.
That's why people was wondering from you know what I mean? A lot of people didn't know who Rivers was because they not from that era. They didn't understand why I had to interview him.
You had to interview Chris. They don't know what we know. You had to, and it was Derek Character versus Greg Oden. Those things. And then I remember when me and you was first starting to get our feet wet, and I had made that connection. I said, yo, bro, come down here. We gotta go check out this Bron kid, yo. And
I see this country dude with this nappy afro. And I'm like, yo, and I'm bugging because I never thought somebody from Ohio could be nice like this. Now I'm so retarded. I'm thinking only nice people is from the Northeast. Like we the only people got basketball players. You telling me this dude Ohio? Then I see this kid.
The only thing in the Midwest we respected. The only thing we respected was Chicago.
But Ohio?
Yeah, we respected Chicago when we knew Indiana because of the hoop state. But that was it. We ain't expecting you. We wasn't really rocking with nobody else like that from there. But I remember I saw him before you did. And I said, "Yo, he different."
Yeah, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, I was in awe. Like, yo, this dude. He was actually ready. He was ready.
He was ready at 16. He was ready.
Yeah.
He was ready at 16.
He was definitely ready.
People hear stuff like that. No hyperbole. He was ready at 16, and he was so different than everybody else. And I just remember us trying to explain to people who never saw him but heard about him, and they were like, "He overhyped." Like, nah. And me and you would always be like, "Nah."
I think it was different.
Nah.
I think it was different, man.
And just to see us talking about that, this was 2001 when we had that conversation, and 23 years later, he's the all-time leading scorer. I'm a Mike guy, but he's the second or third best player to ever walk this planet. I'm a Mike and Kobe guy, to be honest, but Bron is Bron. I mean, and just to see that thing, just us watching him that first game. Remember the ball? Yeah. Remember the dude missed the layup. He came and tucked it backwards off the tap.
Yo, joint was like he just moved at a different speed. Yeah, and he had a different precision with his game than the rest of the dudes that was there. You know what I'm saying? And then the joint with Lenny Cook. What did you think about him in terms of his game?
Lenny was just mature. And I think he's a poster child of rushing something. People was trying to get the bag early with Lenny, and Lenny got caught into people rushing him to get the bag early. Where if they'd have let him cook, he would have never been as good as LeBron, and that's no insult or whatever like that. It's probably only one dude better than LeBron. So in the history. We're not. I'm not saying it like that, but if they would have let it cook, things could have worked out well. But I think me and you talked about this many years. It was so many times people was pushing, and they didn't have patience, because if you wait one more year, he's a totally different dude. Carmelo was not ready to come out of high school. He was ready.
He took that. Yeah, he took that. He took that 1 year to what's the name, and that confidence in Syracuse playing on the wing took him to a whole nother level.
He's the first ballot Hall of Famer that made $250 million. About 1 year. You rushing something, and if they would have rushed him, who knows if that quarter bill or whatever else he's making, not to mention the other stuff that he does, if that's there. So I think, I always tell people, particularly when it comes to you, I was like, Mike's seen it all. And Mike, I said, not only did he see it all, we saw it all together. We saw
indeed. Speaking of that,
yeah.
Did you ever see somebody? LeBron was nasty, but did you ever see somebody, especially during this ABC time, that was more polished than Mayo? Mayo was polished, bro.
Mayo was super polished. People don't understand. Mayo. Yo, so we got to be fair. You told me about Mayo. You said
I saw him on that documentary he was in on ESPN. He was in 7th grade, and he was in and he was going to school in Kentucky, but he lived in West Virginia.
And I kind of did you the way. It was funny how things go full circle. I had told you about LeBron. You was like, a kid from Ohio. You told me I'm like, kid from Kentucky. What you talking? We saw him. He was so polished. He was so polished. Yo, OJ Mayo also probably made me have the proudest moment I had with Tyreek Evans. They played.
I was there down in UVA.
Yeah,
I drove all the way down there. I was there,
and people, Mayo came at Reek early
from the RIT. Me, Deion Chu, and Jerome drove down there. We drove to Charlottesville,
and it was like a boxing match. He hit him with haymakers early, and Reek had to rock back. But Reek stayed that course and walked him down. And when I say walked him down, I'm not even gonna say who played better, but when you thought like I was almost like, yo, let's pull the plug on this, come up with an injury, like I'm looking for my young boy, but Reek walked him down and just walked him down and walked him down. And I never forget. I said, that's my dude. That's gonna be, Reek is the most special high school kid to me ever. Just for a number of reasons, family, everything else. He's that guy for me.
Now, and one last matchup before we go to the next thing.
Yep.
You can't not talk about ABCD without the Darius Washington and Sebastian matchup.
You gonna go there, man? You bring up a lot of memories. There was some Florida and New York cats that was gonna bang on that.
Kenny was talking about it. Kenny said Darius Washington's dad had warned them about going to New York before they came. They came up the year before Kenny Gillian and them.
He came with Rios and them.
But I remember Darius Washington saying he had Sebastian picture on the mirror.
Yep.
And he was coming to search for him. And I think that's what's missing now with these kids. Like, it's nothing like that no more.
People don't understand, and that's where you have to respect these kids who've been at the top of the game for so long. And I'll give a cat in particular from Jersey who I knew personally and was cool with was DeJuan Wagner Sr. He took everybody's best punch because he was that dude. But and by the time he got there, he had people scared to play him or whatever like that. But Darius Washington wanted everything from Sebastian. He wanted his heart, he wanted his soul, he wanted his chick, he wanted everything from him. And that was when me and you looked at each other. I never forget you telling me, said, it's hard to keep somebody who ain't doing nothing but thinking about you. I never forget me and you sitting there and you like, all you do is think about it.
It was like when Rocky with Mr. T was finally got a chance to fight Rocky. He was
Club
just
Lang, baby.
Yeah. He was like, yo, you should have never make me wait. You know what I mean?
Yo, hey Balboa. That's all he wanted. I mean,
indeed.
And I remember that, and I remember that that ABCD class was probably one of the greatest ABCD classes.
That was ridiculous.
So for people who don't understand, we talk about that's 2003. So at ABCD camp that year, they had who by far was the best player there, but he wasn't the sexiest guy, but he was the best player there by far, was Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard was so dominant. We remember me and you watched him. He did a jump hook, a spin move dunk, and something else. We said, all right, we ain't watching him no more. He's the best player here. We watched everybody else. Josh Smith was just so athletic. We never seen nothing. J.R. Smith, who was right there representing Jersey. Sean Livingston, who was a problem.
Sean Livingston was crazy. He didn't get hurt, bro.
Oh my God. Bassey had that thing. DeMarcus Nelson, who went to Duke. I mean, the kid Aaron Aflalo or whatever like that, who was there, played 12 years in the league and stuff like that. Jordan Farmbar, and all those guys. It was so loaded with so many good.
What class was Felton in?
Felton was 2 years ahead, 2002. So 2002 was loaded too. That was when we saw LeBron. That was 2001. So that was Felton. His class was Felton, Sean Dockery, Amari Stoudemire, Chris Bosh, Carmelo, and it was a whole crew of them. And it was ABCD camp was just something to behold, bro. It was different. It was just.
Now we about to have a little bit of fun.
All right,
let's see where it's at for you out. Let's start off with this one. Rank these high school players from 1 to 4 on high school.
You got them already.
LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, and Tim Thomas.
You got them ranked the way they're supposed to be ranked, right there. LeBron 1, Kobe 2, T-Mac 3. But the thing is that people don't understand, T-Mac and Tim Thomas is so close. I could switch them. I could switch them.
I saw a joint, but Tim Thomas was saying that they had him over Kobe in high school.
So I'm gonna tell you when I first got into grassroots basketball and how I started controversy. Remember I was in PA. So Kobe and their games, they used to have a lot of state regional games up in Lehigh. I remember Kobe junior year. They ended up losing to Chester. They wanted the senior year. And I came back and told people in Jersey, which was unheard of to say somebody was better than Tim Thomas. That was unheard of to do. I said he's better. He's just different. Kobe was the best. And when Kobe, the first ABGD camp I went to was 95. And it was Kobe, Tim Thomas, Shaheem Holloway, Jermaine O'Neal. And Lester Earl, if you remember Lester Earl.
Super overrated.
Super overrated. Tim Thomas and Kobe was so far ahead of everybody, but there was just something different about Kobe. And listen, I'm gonna be honest. I might be biased because not that we were friends, but I had talked to him a number of times, just from Sunny Hill being in Philly. So I saw his development because Kobe was the perfect example of when I saw him as a freshman going into a sophomore year, and this is how things go. They called him Little Jelly for after his pop. So they was like, Little Jelly gonna be nice. And you saw him, and I remember saying, he gonna be nice. He gonna be a good high level Division I player. That was his freshman sophomore year. Sophomore junior. Oh shoot. Jelly gonna be a pro. Little Jelly gonna be a pro. Junior senior, he gonna be one of the best to do it. He just kept getting better.
All right. So this your thing. Of course, you got LeBron up there. Yeah, that's like he was just something different.
He was just something different. Physically, too. Like if you was what's the difference? Yeah. Kobe was still human in high school. LeBron was already superhuman because he was just so much bigger or whatever. Like that's different. Kobe was the most skilled high school player I ever saw, but LeBron was just the best.
Okay.
You could switch. You know, I'm gonna represent Jersey. So it's gonna be LeBron, Kobe.
I didn't rank them. This was just the way they was listed.
Yeah,
I was leaving you to rank
I'm actually gonna rank them. LeBron 1, Kobe 2, Tim 3, Tim 3, T-Mac 4, T-Mac 4. I'm gonna go there.
Next, Mercer County, Mount Rushmore. When he got 4 slots,
I know. Terrence Belly. Tom Savage.
Dre love Tom Savage. She always talk about Tom Savage.
Tom Savage was a top 30 player in the country and was the second best player in the state behind Allah Abdelnaby, and should have won state player of the year, but they gave it to Allah because he was going to Duke. Tom was, I went to Tom's state championship game at Young High and at the rack, and he had 29, and there's no three, no nothing. He was killing. He was different. So we got T-Sav, we got Terrence Belly. I'm from the section originally, so there's no way in the world I'm ever going to not say Greg.
That's 3.
Everybody gonna be mad, but they know how I'm going with this. Deion Haynes.
Why him in there?
It goes back to them 3 words. Check the books. If you can find me another person in Trenton, that I'm gonna give Deion's case so people don't just say that's your man and them like that. You gotta been great since you was a shorty. He got that. CYO Hall of Fame. You got to then be one of the great players in high school. Deion is one of the great players in the state of New Jersey high school. Then all you got to do is go to college, get 1,500 points, 800 assists, make 3 NCAA tournaments, win player of the game against University of Kentucky when you're a freshman. If you can come up with somebody who could name that, then I'll take him off.
Okay.
It's just that simple. That's all it is. To be honest, if you go by that rule, I mean, he technically had a better high school career than Greg, but Greg, obviously, you got to give him for everything else he's done.
Okay. I'm not strictly high school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to go there, and yes,
I got you.
And yes, I'm leaving Dante Jones off. I'm just giving people because I know the names that people are going to say. I'm leaving Tay Jones off. I'm leaving Steve Worthy off. I'm leaving Cave off. All of them could be replaced. I could do a second Mount Rushmore, and it might beat the first might beat the first 4 I made. I can go the next 4. I can go Cave. I can go Steve Worthy. I can go what's name? Tom Berry.
It was definitely a lot of talent.
And I can go Dante Jones. And I can't tell you that first 4 I named beat the other 4. That's the talent, and 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 that's not naming Mark Bass and some guy named Rashawn Glenn and all these other guys who did that. Because I tell people all the time, you can tell me what you like, but I gotta know that you did it. Because just saying that you did something, that's why I get on Facebook and I'll play with people a little bit. But when people get disrespectful, don't tell me what you think you done. Tell me what you did.
Oh,
because until that you just tell anybody can say that. I can go say I can beat Roy Jones in a fight. We know that ain't gonna happen. Don't tell me what you could have done. Tell me what you did. And so those guys I just named all did it.
Now let's get to the next one. You was like I said, the plug, especially in the tri-state. Mm-hmm. So you should be able to give me now. These for just the people that you saw yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a tri-state Mount Rushmore. Philly, New York, New Jersey.
Is it New York, New Jersey? We counting Philly?
Yeah, all 3.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Tri-state.
Tri-state. So this goes from when I was scouting?
High school.
You know what I'm saying? This also goes from the time I was a shorty.
Yeah, that you saw with your own 2 eyes.
Kenny Anderson is 1. Kenny Anderson is 1. Kenny Anderson. The next person after that, who's close, who had people scared, was DeJuan Wagner.
That's 2.
Kobe.
That's 3.
Kenny, D-Wags, Kobe. Come on, what am I thinking? Come on. The fact that I even took this long. Kyrie Irving.
Oh, high school?
Kyrie Irving. So people got to remember this. Kyrie Irving didn't play against great comp his first 2 years, but he was averaging 30. Mm-hmm. But so we couldn't really see. His junior year, even though he missed half the season, he was TOC MVP. His senior year, he was the best player in the country, hands down. and he was so different. And I never forget a friend of mine who's from Harlem. I told him then, I said, he got the best handle I ever seen.
Oh yeah, that's 100%.
But dude said, you can't say that. He did that. I said, I'm gonna stand on 10 toes on that. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong. I've never had to answer a question from him again. He comes to me, asks me anything. He asked me who could brush their teeth better because he's like, you call Kyrie early. But Kenny, Kobe, so it's the 3 Ks: Kenny, Kobe, Kyrie, and D-Wax.
I can't argue that.
And listen, I know somebody going. And listen, I want somebody. If you just talk high school, gotta give love to Kyle Anderson. Won like 80 games in a row or something like that. Gotta give love to Karl Anthony Towns.
He killed Gilchrist at that game, bro.
That was it. I mean, that was it right there. When he did that, that's my 4, and I'm more than comfortable with it. But I want to give honorable mention to Tim Thomas. I want to give high honorable mention to Rasheed Wallace, who because you just said 4. We named.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore, indeed. You know, and the tri-state is a big stretch.
Yeah,
that's a lot of players.
Yeah, no, I mean, she gonna have to get love. Tim Thomas gonna have to get love. You talking about like a Lamar Odom or something like that, who I'm not even considering, but we still gotta admit he was that nice. How about Jamal Mashburn? These are all guys I've all seen or whatever like that. So if Rock Green is still watching, he's gonna be like, you ain't mentioned Pearl. I was a kid with Pearl.
Yeah.
So I can't judge him like I was when I was a little bit smarter and could understand it or whatever like that. But and then of course, right on the cusp is Tariq Evans scored 3,400 points.
That's crazy.
You don't think that I'm forgetting my youngin, but I'm comfortable saying Kyrie, Kenny, Kobe, and D-Wax.
All right, next up. We almost done. Next up.
Okay.
Top 5 high school games that you've seen.
Is this regular high school? We count AAU too.
High school.
Okay. I wanted to make sure. I didn't see it, but I'm gonna put it in there because I was part of it. Trenton High Hun.
Mm-hmm. That was up there.
Trenton High Hun gonna be right there. This is an awesome question because I'm going through the Rolodex and just thinking of things. I'm seeing so many games right now. Oh, the one of the best games I've ever seen. 2000 TOC semifinal. Camden St. Pat's.
When Wani made it at the buzzer. That was a good one. That's a good one right there. That's a good one. That got to go in there. That just got to go in there. I was there that day. Yeah. And then he just ran in the crowd. Yeah. That got to go in there.
Wow. I'm thinking of some of them great. The last Kevin Boyle, Danny Hurley game with St. Benedict St. Pat's 2010. Mike McCombo. How you say his last name? Mike.
When he beat Kyrie in them.
When he beat Kyrie.
Yeah, that was a good one. You pulled that one out.
You pulled that one out. And it was big because I remember how emotional Danny was because Kevin Boyle owned the Hurleys for a minute. You remember
we
that?
We gotta get to that.
You remember that? He owned, and you remember how he talked. You remember how he would talk.
I know. See, people don't know. People don't know what we used to go through in the media room. Man, we used to hear a lot of stuff, a lot of coaches.
Yo, but I'm gonna give you one. We gotta throw something representing prime time. I'm a Taiwan Lawson against Nunu.
Ooh, that was a banger.
Taiwan Lawson against Nunu.
Oak Hill against St. Benedict's. That was the night. It was a snow blizzard too.
Yep. Remember Taiwan Lawson came and ran it down Nunu's neck.
Nunu was one of my favorite point guards.
That's what I'm saying. We you know how much respect we had for Nunu back then. We never thought we were gonna see somebody do him dirty like that. He did him dirty, and we was like, "What in the hell?"
Yeah, Lawson was a different speed. Now give me that one more. You got one more.
The next one that comes off the top of my head early, and I'm just thinking about it, and I'm gonna tell you how I got there. I was in college, and we played Fordham the game before. We stayed in New York, and I was able to go to the game. Was Lincoln versus St. Pat's, Shaheem versus Stephon Marbury, 95.
I just saw that. I saw that on the news. I didn't see that. I saw
and I was in college because we had played Fordham. Remember Fordham was our conference at the Patriot League at the time. We played and we stayed that game. And when Shaheem hit and made Steph fall, and that was the first play of the game. Everybody, Steph took him to the torture chamber. And,
it got real then.
It got real.
Yeah, it got real.
And then you saw the difference between a nice future great college player and excellent high school player and all that type of stuff versus a pro. It was different. So that would be my 5 right there. That would be my 5.
I had some of yours. 2 I might add in is St. Anthony's and St. Pat's that's for the national title game.
Yeah.
The atmosphere was crazy.
If you say top 5 atmospheres, that's the number 1.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying.
That's number 1. It was so thick with that tension up in there.
Yeah.
Everybody felt that joint.
One more that I thought you was gonna say.
Which one?
Wagner against Julian Hodge.
Go! All right. We got to knock one of them joints out.
I thought you was gonna say that one. I thought you was gonna say that one.
You just named 2 things that we both saw live that we got to knock out. That game goes in my top 5, and then Carmelo and LeBron.
Yeah.
So let's do it real quick. Carmelo, LeBron, Wagner, Juju. I'm just not to make it over Wagner. I'm gonna knock his St. Pat's game out.
Okay.
I'm gonna knock his St. Pat's game out. And then I'm gonna go back to the Shaheem Steph. What was the other game I just said? I said Shaheem Steph, that one. I'm just trying to think of all the ones off the top of my head. That new Taiwan Lawson was so crazy. And like you said, that snowstorm out there, and it was packed, is whatever like that. But whatever it is, Juju and DeJuan Wagner.
That was crazy.
Go 1. Juju and DeJuan Wagner go 1. Juju and Julius Hodge, DeJuan Wagner go number 1. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. And speaking of primetime, we got to give a shout out to that Sebastian Dwight Howard game.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Next up, top 5 performances.
So you got number 1. When LeBron dropped 50 against Trevor Ariza, another top 15 player, I had never seen a person get 50 again. I mean, dominate somebody that bad.
That was a different level.
Especially when you were didn't realize that Trevor Ariza was going to play 16 years in the league too. I mean, like it actually gets better with time when you think about it or whatever like that. Because it wasn't like he played some dude who never turned and Trevor Ariza was real. So top 5 high school performances. LeBron there. I'm gonna go with what I just said. Another game, I took them out of the game, but that performance that Wani Wags had against St. Pat's, it wasn't one of his 40-point games. It wasn't one of his 50-point games. And St. Pat's did everything they could to stop him. He had a smooth 30, but every bucket mattered. Everything was cool. Everything was cool. I just remember like, yo, he's so different. That's 2. I'm just thinking of all the ones that we've seen. I'm trying to think of a lot of ones that we saw up close in recent times. Shoot. Damn. It's not that I don't. I'm just thinking of so many of them. It's that I'm trying to knock down LeBron, D Wags. I'm gonna try to not name 2 of the same people. I'm gonna try to give 5 different people just to make here or whatever like that. I saw in Maryland. I saw when Kevin Durant beat Oak Hill when he was at Montrose.
I remember that.
I was there, and that was different. I saw not too long ago. I was down at DeMatha when this happened. I went to go, a lot of DC. I have some people down DC, so I'm always down DC. I saw when they did their national tournament, and when Anthony Edwards had 37 the second half, and I started telling people he's the best guard I've seen come out of high school since Kobe. Which a lot of people didn't believe me now. It's easy to say that now, but I said that if you go look at there's a game on high school, he had 41, he had 37 in the second half.
One more.
And the last one, I'm just trying to think who had 50s, the 40s, and stuff like that. So I got Ant-Man, this, that. It's so many good dudes. It's shoot. Oh man. I'm trying to even it out. Kenny Anderson, I was young. Kenny Anderson when he had like 50 against Tarleton, Adrian Autry and them.
I remember one performance in the losing effort though.
What's up?
When Lance Stevenson cooked Strickland at the prime.
Oh Jesus.
Yo, and Hardcore made that video, and we had it on the highlight tape, Yo, man, Stevenson was cooking him, man.
Yo, by the way, me and you still, when we go back to top 5 games, which is a game that we and you left off that both of us we gonna smack ourselves later if we don't mention it.
What?
OJ and Corey Fisher.
I know. I was looking at that joint earlier. Yeah, that was it.
Because we seen so much, and it comes to you in waves. But that OJ Corey Fisher, we wasn't there live. But
it was on ESPN.
It was on ESPN.
Yeah, that joint was crazy.
I called you up. I was in Cali.
Yeah, that joint was crazy.
We was wilding we talking on the phone that day. So I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna move nobody out, but I gotta throw that out there, whatever like that.
Next up,
that was my 5.
Hurley or Boyle? Hey man, this is what it's about. We almost at the end, baby.
Woo! Ah man,
who you got?
Because I see Coach Hurley all the time, and I'm always so respectful to him. But I'm a Boyle guy, you know me. Kev. Kev. First of all, Kev was crazy.
I know.
People don't know. Kev was crazy. Yo, I'm not gonna say who it was, but it was a kid on his team that he was close to at an AAU event he was helping coach that got sucker punched by another kid.
I remember.
I know you know. I know. But
yeah, when Cali came out here,
and he went and told him, said, "Listen, I don't like that the kid sucker punch. You got to get that kid. He got to fight my kid, and they got to go out in the back. And they got to have a fair."
He did. I remember that.
And the county cast was like,
we was at Job Corps.
Yeah, they like, we not letting our kid. His parents are killers. Nah, he got sucker punched. And he wasn't coming off that. You had to go talk to him.
Yep, I remember I said, "Yo, this is a federal facility. Hey, Joker's going to jail. We can't be having it going on there." And that's when Gary Franklin and them came out here back in the day.
Yeah,
man, that was crazy, yo.
So thinking about that, that's crazy.
Man, but let's get to the question, bro. You ain't answered the question yet, bro.
Kevin Boyle.
Why?
Kev. Well, it's not really who you're talking. Who's greater? The greatest high school coach who ever lived is Bobby Hurley.
Okay.
Preference of who I would want to play for would be Kevin Boyle.
Why?
So let you go a little bit more. Let you get all. While he was crazy, wasn't as demanding, wasn't as restrictive on what you could do as an individual. So if you would say who I would send one of my kids to, that I'm influencing, I would have sent them to St. Pat's at the time. And I did send him some kids to St. Pat's. So from Shaquille Stokes and stuff like that. So I would have went with Boyle for that. But let's be real. At the end of the day, the greatest high school coach who's ever lived, and second to none, is Bob Hurley Sr. Period.
Oh, he was, because I look at that he could get players that you wouldn't think to get scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
That he got them in position and he had them working on a thing. Now, one thing I didn't like, and I teased B. Coleman.
I know where you gonna go because this is our real issue with him was the scheduling.
Exactly. I thought they played in the short conference a couple seasons.
The scheduling left a little bit to be desired. And now I will say this: as I got older, I understood a little bit of not wanting to play the factories because his thing was I'm taking a group of kids from North Jersey at most. I mean, he had some other, but from North Jersey, I don't want to play Oak Hill, who's got kids from Texas, Cali, this, that, and the third. And Montrose has done that on steroids because if I was coaching a high school team, I would never schedule Montrose unless I'm at IMG or something like that because you can't beat no normal high school team can beat them. I
understand that part, but I ain't trying to go to New York to a classic and you playing regional.
No. Coach Hurley after a while got very particular about making sure they would go undefeated. And you saw how they were scheduled because, like you said, there would be showcase events, and there was easy games for you could say, "Yo, why don't the math to play St. Anthony's?" And somehow they wouldn't. Me and you know specifically, we were on a lot of boards that would come to us to ask us to schedule, and and we would make that call, and we would get the phone would hang up. We said, "All right, we got y'all playing so and so." Click.
All right. Next up. The transfer portal. What you think?
This is a very interesting question. We'll give you a deep answer because I like it as a player. I wish we had it when I was able to do it when I was in college. But it does a little bit. It also hinders development for young kids. I didn't think of it that way because we always look at the top kids who are transferring. I have two sons who are playing Division I ball. They were playing Division I ball at Cal State Fullerton. And unfortunately, they haven't been able to get the time that they wanted because they kept bringing in another guy who already was established. And it's easy to just bring in somebody 15, 16. So there's pros and cons. The pros is for the player who's nice. If you're nice, everything works out. The guys who need development, they can get screwed a little bit because they're gonna always look and say, "I'll just take this kid who already averaged 16 over at University of South Florida."
All facts. I get it.
It's a double-edged sword. I wish, and I think it might relax a little bit because also too, what also happened that COVID extra year threw kids off. My kids got hurt with the COVID extra year, and so we'll see what happens with that.
Next one, we almost done like 2 more. NIL.
About time.
Talk about it. You played college ball. Talk about it.
About time. Once again, I wasn't at North Carolina. I wasn't at UConn, none of that stuff. But in Allentown, Pennsylvania, they had me on the posters. 1-800, 2 Lehigh or whatever like that. I still remember the number. It was 2, and then it was spelled out Lehigh. And they had me on the poster. Come to games, sign up, get season tickets. We played Stadium Arena. We had a 7,000 seat arena or whatever like that. We got good crowds. I mean, once again, we're not talking Rupp Arena with 20,000, but this mid-major ball, and and little things. Now, once again, I wasn't going to be signing a $1 million likeness, but to get compensated for a little something would have been cool, especially when I'm sitting up there broke. So I believe now for those real kids who really deserve it, pay them kids, man. Pay them kids their money. Now the slippery slope is kids are making bad decisions because they're going to schools that they think got more NIL money and not realizing that before you worry about NIL, make sure you produce. So you gotta go to a school, that even if their NIL budget isn't as big as another school, make sure you're gonna get time because you ain't gonna no NIL deal on the bench anyway.
All facts.
So think of it that way.
Now, I'm gonna just add a little piece to it. I think that each kid need to give 2 to 3% of their deal to Ed O'Bannon because he the one sacrificed a lot to come up with. Like he needs to get some kind of compensation for this, bro.
Yo, people don't understand what Ed O.B. went through, and the NCAA tried to erase him. He's a national.
That's champion. What I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he's a national champion, and now I was pissed at Ed because he did stop. Coach
college basketball.
So because of that shit, I had an issue with Ed. But realistically, when you take all that stuff away, you know, he suffered a lot for that or whatever like that.
Indeed. Last joint.
Wow.
FBI investigation.
So
I know this hit close to home for you, man.
Yeah. So if people, so we're gonna go real quick, and we're not gonna give names out, but going back to that being me connected everybody, when this FBI investigation went down and they got a lot of assistant coaches for bribery and stuff like that, I was friends with most of them, if not all of them. And one of the main ones was one of my closest friends. And then there were two agents who got wrapped up into it, who were under investigation for a while. And I know it caused him stress, cost one his marriage and everything else. And I was there for all that. And I saw that. So there's the things behind closed doors that people probably would never see or never understand that went on. And the thing that really hurt when everything was done was all the black assistant coaches got screwed, and the white head coaches who had to co-sign these things. Black assistant coaches or white assistant, I don't care who it is not handing recruits $300,000-$400,000 without the head dude knowing. They're only making $300,000. Where they getting that bread from?
Exactly.
So how was they getting fed time? You know, getting charges, putting it on their record, getting a felony, and the assistant coaches are going. I mean, the head coaches are going easy. You know, University of Arizona. We know what happened with their assistant coach, who happens to be a close friend of mine. Well, you know, Sean Miller stayed coaching for them for a couple more years, then left. And you thought maybe he getting his comeuppance. He just went back to his original school, Xavier. He right back rolling. He back making $2 million a year. All those guys are forever barred from playing. From you have to go for them to now go back and coach. You have to get special permission for them to coach, and it's too much red tape for them to get back in the game.
No, man, that's a lot.
So lives have been affected, and things are done. There were guys who I was cool with, because I knew, because you heard about them being under FBI investigation, we couldn't really talk on the phone. I don't want to be wrapped up in none of that stuff. I didn't want to know. You know, it was crazy. You know,
indeed.
Things was real.
It was a sad time for basketball, man. And very sad time, man. It's been a good journey, bro. I got 2 more questions and then it's over.
Go ahead.
I always ask these 2 questions, man. How do you want Rashawn Glenn to be remembered?
Number one, as a father. You know, I have 5 kids, so I can proudly say, as we're talking, a week from today, my daughter graduates from Harvard.
Oh, praises, brother.
And the most, you know, to sit up there and say that I'm the father of a person who's going to be a graduate of Harvard is something I couldn't even imagine. But I'm also proud to say that I helped raise a niece who, unfortunately, my brother-in-law died when she was 2, who graduated from Princeton 2 years ago. So, you know, that would be one. That would be the first thing I want you to think of, because, you know, since becoming a dad 20 years ago, that's kind of been the main thing I've always thought about. Number 2, as a friend, you know, to whoever it may be, you know, if you was a friend, then, you know, then I've probably been there for you in some way, and you probably been there for me.
Indeed.
So those things, the dad part will always be number 1. My kids range in age from 21 to 3. You know, so I started over with my 2 youngest, and just this journey again is keeping me young.
Indeed.
So I'm happy with that. Third, as an athlete, you know, and when I say as an athlete, whatever you rank me as a basketball player, wherever you is, as I told you before, I'm so comfortable where I'm at in life. I'm so content with what I've been given by God. I'm so content with what has been given. I'm so appreciative that, you know, I'm at the age I'm at now where I'm almost touching 50, and I've had a long life. And that next week, the grandparents will see their daughter. I mean, my daughter, their granddaughter, walk down the line and walk from Harvard.
Indeed,
And
man.
my dad, that's important because my grandparents couldn't read or write because they was born in the South.
Oh,
so
that's deep, bro.
So for me, I'm the first one in my family to go to college.
Yeah,
and then you know, my dad was the first one to graduate high school. So you know, you're talking about in 2 generations, you went from 2 illiterate people who couldn't read or write because of Jim Crow rules to my uncle was the first detective, God rest his soul, Lewis Glenn, the first black detective in Trenton. So think about that. You know, think what they think for you to be the first black detective in Trenton. And then my father was also the first one to graduate high school. And then for me to be the first one to graduate college, to then my niece being the first one to graduate Ivy League school, and my daughter being able to graduate from the preeminent college in America. So fatherhood will always take precedence over anything. I know I've been blessed, so I feel comfortable. I'm real happy with life, and I've been happy to meet the people I've met. You know, the journey to do this has been so much fun because I'm thinking of all the good people I've met, and I always think of the fun, man. Like, you know, all I do is think about how much fun did we have,
yeah,
bro?
Indeed.
We used to have fun.
Indeed.
You know, I tell anybody, if anybody listening, like, you know, the spark I can give you, live life. Live life. Because you know, you get one, it don't come back, and Lord knows I've had fun. I've had fun. To sit up here and to say I had in my house with Reek, he come through with these 2 reality chicks and Kevin Durant, and they just chill in the crib, and you don't, and it's an everyday part of your life. You've been blessed.
Indeed. Last one. Give me a situation that you feel like God brought you through so you could be an inspiration for other people.
I think God just brought me through, you know, just, you know, being a young dude who didn't always have. I had great parents, I had great direction, but I was hard-headed. So, you know, there was things that I didn't see, and I had no patience young. So for me, my biggest strength now is I always tell you, let's wait and see. And I always believe things will work itself out. I believe you have to go through highs. There's going to be lows, and then you have to fight through it, and it'll come. But my patience level is cool right now, and so I'm really excited about that. I think God gave that to me because if I'd have kept with the impatience I had, all the things, the blessings I had wouldn't have came through because I wanted it too much. And I just now know I go to sleep every night knowing things will eventually work itself out. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be this week, but it will work itself out. And I just keep going forward, man, because it's just, you know, it's too much negativity, bro. It's too much things. I tell people all the time, like, you know, some of my greatest moments and times, you know, some of the funniest things I think about, me and you sitting in Houston's outside of Fairleigh Dickinson, having lunch and talk about, did you see Mayo cook someone?
Yeah.
Simple things, bro. I think enjoy the simple things. And don't worry about the next. I obviously I have all types of social media. I have Instagram, Facebook. I do not go on there and care what another person thinks.
Indeed.
I really don't. I'm so good with what I am right now. And don't get me wrong, I still have that Trenton in me. If people want to compare, we can do the comparison. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I still do the check the books. You gonna have to have 2 degrees, come from where I came from, be a Hall of Famer at this level, have 3 Division I athletes. All my 3 oldest kids are all Division I athletes.
All praises, brother.
You know, and come to that side and then see what I'm doing for you to bother me. Because we got to start there. And until we get there, that's the most important thing. So I'm just cool, bro. I'm just happy. And I think God has helped me get here because this shouldn't have been me when I was 14. I was so a knucklehead. But
praises.
It took 30 plus years for me to get to this point, and I'm happy I'm here, and I'm just gonna ride it out, bro.
I want to, in closing, man, I just want to thank you, man, for being a friend. Not only we talked about all the basketball stuff, but the other stuff that I was going through during the trial, during the investigation at first, then the trial coming, and then the alcoholism, and we having our conversations, and you encouraging me, and then once I came through and I changed my life, and I left out the game, you still had those phone calls, and you encouraged me on my journey with finding God and all that kind of stuff. Where some other people was like, man, I don't want to talk about that. That's like you never changed up on me. I want to thank you, bro, and I want to give you your flowers. You definitely did your thing, a basketball legend, and you helped a lot of people, man. You know what I'm saying? You're a good dude, bro.
I appreciate you, but that came from true kinship, bro. We from the bottom, bro. We from Trenton. We from the bottom. If I can't be there for you, I don't expect nobody should be there for me. And the thing about it, we went through everything together because I knew you who you was. I knew what you represented. I knew who you was as a man. And so going to that thing, it was a long journey, but I still always said it's gonna work itself out because you that dude. So,
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, so things always work itself out. To see you at your place now, and the fact that I'm watching every weekend, I'm loving all the things because it really goes back. You can't get those people in, whatever, having alcoholism, that never defined you. It was just something that you was going through. So who cared? Whatever, but you addressed it. That's the other thing. I'm big on accountability. Faults, we all got faults. I have many. I will always have. And I'm at the age now, I probably ain't changing, so I'm gonna die with many. But I acknowledge them. I keep it going, and I'm just trying to be the best son while my parents are here. I know my time with my parents are limited, so I'm really cool in making sure that they're the best. And I'm gonna bring somebody in real quick. This is just like what I talk about. I have a little one right here, and this is.
Oh, how you doing?
This is the future. This is the future right here. So, right
there. All praises, all praises.
So we just good, man. So life is good, bro. Life is
all right,
good.
bro, man. Thanks for coming on. I love you, bro. I'm gonna send you the full interview once I get off. I already put it on your Facebook page. I'm gonna send you the YouTube joint, and I'll start posting the highlights. You're probably gonna get tired of me because we've been on here for almost a tray, so we're gonna have a lot of highlights. So I love you, bro. Thanks for coming on, man.
Always, brother. You know how we do.
All right, no doubt. Wow, man. 2 and some change, man. Almost 3. It was worth it, though, man. It was a good blast from the past. Get that brother his flowers. Shout out to the Blur, man. I wish you could have chimed in. We got to schedule you to come on, man. And next week, we got an action-packed week with 3 interviews coming up next week. So on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So stay tuned as we continue this journey. I got a list of people that I want to interview. You know what I mean? And then once I get all of those lists done, then I'll probably be moving on to something else. But I got a list of people that I believe should get their flowers and deserve that impacted my life and impacted the lives of a lot of people in basketball. So that's why I wanted to do this platform. And then I'll probably move on to something else. But we'll get there when we get there. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Shalom.